on social media, Facebook, today at Today95.1 FM. All right, at Today95.1 FM. That's on Facebook, where the post already should be up. And then Twitter, I believe you can also say something and be part of the conversation there as well. So one more time, everyone, welcome to the newspaper review segment on today's Quest. We go straight and then we begin this morning. I was looking at pictures or the video of New Ribadu arriving in his new office. That's the office of the National Security Advisor. And that's quite a beautiful facility. Beautiful facility. Quite classy, I must say. Oh well. So, let's go straight to the papers this morning. I don't have trending videos to share this morning. Yeah, there are some issues, but I just didn't find them quite interesting to share on one hand. And then the second thing, it's out there. It's been talked about. The APC in Ondo State is calling for prayers for the governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu. APC seeks prayers for Akeredolu's health. Slams opposition over rumors. APC seeks prayers for Akeredolu's health. Slams opposition over rumors. Saw this sometime yesterday, and you have to pray that the ailing governor is able to recover. They say it's a cancer of the blood or something. That's what we've been hearing. Wish him quick recovery. All right. So let's begin with Daily Post this morning. 5 minutes now past the hour of 8. We'll look at the stories together. Ribadu formally takes over from Mungunu. Ribadu formally takes over from Mungunu. New Ribadu has formally taken over from Major General Mungunu as a National Security Advisor yesterday. Tinubu had last week appointed Ribadu as the National Security Advisor. He was earlier appointed as a Special Advisor on Security to Tinubu before the current position. Ribadu promised to live up to the expectations of Nigerians, and he thanked Tinubu for renewing the hope of a more secure nation. And then this story. 81% of commercial drivers abuse drugs. Ministry of Health. 81% of commercial drivers abuse drugs. Ministry of Health. The medical doctor, John Stephen, who was a guest at an anti-drug abuse event in Yola on Monday, asserted that 81.1% of commercial bus drivers in Nigeria abuse drugs. I'm like, even without the research, I am tending to agree. I am really tending to agree with what the doctor is saying here. Speaking at the event marking this year's International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, Dr. Stephen, the Director of Research in Adamawa State Ministry of Health, adds that abuse of drugs frequently results in dangerous unintended effects, such as the often irreversible disorders that many abusers suffer. He further said 1 in 5 persons who have ever abused drugs suffer from drug-related disorders. He went on to note that drug abuse is a growing trend, although laws against it date far back as 1935, when the Dangerous Drugs Ordinance of 1935 was created by the British colonial administration. And then on the way forward, Dr. Stevens suggests the empowerment of young people and communities to prevent drug use and addiction, among other issues. I think this one is even is light in terms of a solution to containing this. And what do we do with influencers? When you turn on some of our music channels and our movie channels, you go on social media, you see them smoking some of these things in your face. It's like, in your face, what can you do about it? And a lot of young people are influenced by some of those things. How do you tame that? How do you contain it? I recall one time we were having a conversation on the radio. We sort of suggested that there should be, we know it's an item that should not be smoked. I'm like, okay, they should go hard. They should really go hard and find ways to really be stiff in the enforcement of penalties. And people started calling, stop it, oh, stop it, live radio, stop it, oh, stop saying this thing, oh, live radio, no joke. So That solution from the doctor there is it's far off the mark in terms of dealing with this menace of drug abuse. And you also realize that we take part in this. The work of the NDLEA is not even receiving as much attention as it should, because we're chasing too many other things, politics, and some other issues that are always in front of us. But almost every other day, there's news from the NDLEA of major burst by that agency in terms of drug. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Vice President Kashim Shettima decorates Adeni as Comptroller General of Customs. Vice President Kashim Shettima has decorated Adewale Adeni as the new Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service (NCS). Shettima, during the ceremony on Monday at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, describes the appointment of Adeni by President Tinubu as a morale booster for officers in the service. The Vice President said, "Congratulations on bringing professionalism back to the Nigerian Customs Service. Now every customs officer can aspire to the pinnacle of his or her profession." Is that an indirect shading of Buhari? Let me read it again. "Congratulations on bringing professionalism back to the Nigerian Customs Service. Now, every customs officer can aspire to the pinnacle of his or her profession. I wish you well. On behalf of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, congratulations once again." And then Adeni is speaking with the media, expressed gratitude to the President for appointing a serving officer, another shade, as the head of the agency, assuring him and Nigerians for more effective and innovation-driven customs service. Eid al-Kabir FD declares 28th and 29th of June as public holidays. The federal government on Monday declared Wednesday, the 28th, and Thursday, the 29th of June as Eid al-Kabir holidays. That should be tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow and the day after. And some people will add Friday. Oluwatoyin Akinlade, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, made the announcement in a signed statement. All right, let's move on. Take some more stories from Daily Post. Calabar boat accident, local divers, Marine Police recover 3 more bodies. Calabar boat accident, local divers, Marine Police recover 3 more bodies. Quite a sad one. The bodies of 3 medical students who were missing when a boat conveying 14 of them capsized on Saturday in the Calabar waterways have now been recovered from the waters. The search continued throughout Sunday afternoon when it was believed that the bodies would pop up after 24 hours from when they were drowned until early Monday morning. Commissioner of Police in the state, Augustine Grimmer, who spoke to journalists at the Marina Resort in Calabar, explained that when the bodies were sighted, our Marine Police rose to the scene. With efforts from the local divers, the bodies have been recovered. 3 students were missing, and we did not rest until since that day. The rescue effort continued day and night, and this morning we're here to let you know that the bodies have been recovered and you can see them around me. The locals did a very marvelous job, and they have just delivered the 3 bodies to us. The police is sounding like they did something fantastic. You really did not do anything. You didn't do anything. It was the Navy that rescued them when the incident happened. Were there even anywhere in sight? Please, pardon us, excuse us, and spare us all this rabble-rouse. The governor of the state, Prince Basi Otu, has directed the immediate shutdown of the resort, questioning the management over standards and safety. I've been there before. I like that place, and it's quite unfortunate what has happened now. You begin to wonder, was it really taken care of by the previous administration in Cross River State? That's the Marina Resort. But let's move on to the Vanguard. It's our next stop now, and it opens with a story that is not, Forex challenge driving petrol price toward 581 naira per litre. There are strong indications that the national average price of petrol will rise further as marketers benchmark cost against rising exchange rates. Marketers who spoke to Vanguard against the backdrop of continued depreciation of the naira say implication would be that their cost has also increased beyond the figure used in fixing the current pump prices. The current national average pump price of 500 naira per litre was arrived at an exchange rate of 661 naira to a dollar. Already, Vanguard is finding out that there are indications that most major oil marketers have adjusted their prices to 492 to 495. That's that price band between 492 and 495 in Lagos, contrary to the 488 earlier positions floated by the industry shortly after the removal of subsidy was announced by President Tinubu on May 29, 2023. Also in Lagos, most independent marketers have adjusted further to an average of 515 naira instead of 488, and within that territory, while outside Lagos, the pump price has jumped to as high as 650 naira. Marketers say that with the closing rate at the investors and exporters foreign exchange window since last week at about 770 naira to a dollar, the pump price is likely to hit 550 naira per litre early next month. Where I used to buy, it used to be slightly cheaper. The last time I went is now about 10 naira or 15 naira more than what it used to be. Well, I guess these are some of the realities of today. Tinubu renames airports after Buhari, Awolowo and others. President Bola Tinubu has renamed some federal airports after several prominent Nigerians. Renaming of the airports was announced in a memo released by the Federal Ministry of Aviation dated June 1, 2023 and signed by Mrs. Joke Olatunji for the Director of Airport Operations on Monday. The statement notes that the President renamed the airports as part of reforms of the aviation sector. Let's look at the names now. Akure Airport, Olumuyiwa Bernard Aliu, Bini Airport, Oba Akinzuwa II, Dutse Airport, Mohammed Nuhu Sanusi. Wow. Ebonyi Airport, Chuba Wilberforce Okadibo. Gombe Airport, Brigadier Zakari Meiman Larry. Ibadan Airport, Samuel Ladoke Akintola. Ilorin Airport, General Tunde Idiabon. Kaduna Airport, Hassan Usman Kassina. Kaduna Airport, Hassan Usman Kassina. Maiduguri Airport, General Muhammadu Buhari. They didn't even call him, he's still a general. General Muhammadu Buhari. Kaduna or Makodi Airport, Joseph Sawon Taka. Mina Airport, Malam Abubakar Imam. Nasarawa Airport, Sheikh Usman Danfodio. Usubi Airport, Alfred Dietespif. Oh, Usubi Airport, Alfred Dietespif. And then Port Harcourt Airport, Obafemi Jeremiah Awolowo. That's Obafemi Awolowo. And then Yola Airport, Lamido Aliyu Mustafa. Well, those are the names for the new airport. And some persons are already kicking against this, as you can expect. Tinubu would have lost if Buhari removed fuel subsidy. Garba Shehu. Tinubu would have lost if Buhari removed fuel subsidy. We'll look at this later on, but let's just slide over and look at some other stories. He said quite a lot how the silence of the APC with all the bashing that the previous administration is receiving now has forced him to come and make this statement. AEDC makes U-turn and tariff increase. Yesterday we were having a conversation that the NRC has remained silent on this, and then the discos were going ahead to announce an increase in price. It sounded like something was off. The Abuja Electricity Distribution Company has appealed to its customers to disregard the planned tariff increase as approval for such an increment has not been received. ADC management made the appeal in a statement on Monday in Abuja. It says, please disregard the circulating communication regarding the review of electricity tariffs. Be informed that no approval for such increments has been received. We regret any inconvenience. Okay. Average worker earns less than what is used to fill his car tank. Abbas. We'll look at this story as well. And then this very funny and disappointing and shocking one. Benue State, PDP knocks Governor Elia for paying 1 month salary. Meanwhile, the government of the PDP were owing the workers in the state for 7 months. 7 months. A governor braves it and pays them 1 month. And the PDP rushes out to mock. The People's Democratic Party in Benue State on Monday taunted Governor Hyacinth Elia for paying 1 month salary saying he ought to use the slush funds at his disposal to clear salaries and pension arrears as he had promised during the 2023 campaigns. Earlier had in his Democracy Day broadcast told civil servants that they will start receiving alert of payment of their salaries from June 25. Our correspondent reports that following the governor's promise, the PDP and its supporters had used the social media on Sunday afternoon to taunt the administration while making jest of the workers who expectantly at the time had not received the salary payment. But the workers, as at Sunday night, started receiving salary alerts, which was still ongoing even up until the time this report was filed. On Monday, the publicity secretary of the PDP in Benue State wondered why only a section of the workers got 1 month's salary, as he urged the state government to at least pay all workers up to 4 months. And yet, as a government, you could not pay for 7 months. Unbelievable. Abbas, workers should earn enough if we must win war against corruption. We'll look at this in a moment as well. So let's just slide over and look at some other stories. But he said quite a lot. Tribune opens with our next set of stories. Police patrol vehicles must obey traffic rules and regulations. IGP Egbetoku. Police patrol vehicles must obey traffic rules and regulations. The Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, has ordered that all police patrol vehicles must obey traffic rules and regulations. The Nigeria Police Force aims to strengthen the effectiveness of the leading internal security agency in the country to ensure adequate protection of the lives and properties of citizens. The directive was given by the acting IGP during a strategic meeting with the squadron commanders of the Police Mobile Force and Special Protection Unit at the force headquarters in Abuja. The acting IGP emphasized that the protection of lives, properties, and the maintenance of law and order are the primary duties of the police. In light of the current security challenges, a lot of strategies have been in place by the police hierarchy to stem the rise in the ugly trend in Nigeria. He also hinted that a special intervention squad comprising 40,000 officers have been established by the new police administration to address these emerging threats to national security. Let's move on. Nigeria Armed Forces committed to end nation's insecurity, CDS. The Chief of General Staff, Major General Christopher Musa, on Monday assured that the Armed Forces of Nigeria is committed to combating the multifaceted security challenges facing the country as mandated by President Bola Tinubu and restoring total peace to the country immediately. General Musa gave the assurance in Abuja when he led other service chiefs and Chief of Defense Intelligence on a familiarization tour visit to the Ministry of Defense headquarters. He went on to solicit the total support of the members of the general public toward achieving the mandate given to the nation's security forces. This is still from the Tribune. Will tackle drug menace in Nigeria. Tinubu assures Nigerians. How many things do you want to tackle? Everything. I hope we'll not hear a story of corruption is fighting back. President Bola Tinubu has vowed to tackle illicit use of drugs in Nigeria by raising consciousness of the threat that it poses to society. He equally warns against the social and structural stigmatization of drug use victims, which he says prevents them from accessing needed care and support. Speaking on the occasion of the celebration of the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking at the Presidential Villa Abuja on Monday, he expressed his endorsement of the theme of the celebration, which is People First, Stop Stigma and Discrimination, Strengthen Prevention. He says the theme stresses the imperative to prioritize the well-being and dignity of individuals affected by drug abuse, recognizing their inherent worth and the importance of providing them with effective prevention and treatment interventions. And then the Sun opens with this one: don't blackmail me for federal appointment. Part of our conversation yesterday on Real Talk, Senator Magnus Abe is calling out what he calls a political campaign of calumny being waged against him in Rivers State, describing it as totally unnecessary. May form part of our conversation on Real Talk later on. And then still connected to this, Governor Wike delivered Tinubu fit to lead Rivers APC. Ike Eje, with riders as Wike is welcomed in Rivers APC, describes Wokocha Woju claims as baseless. As the former governor of Rivers State, Barrister Nyesom Wike prepares to join the ruling All Progressives Congress, according to The Sun. Prominent APC leader in Obiakpo local government area is dismissed as untrue. Claims made by some persons that the ex-governor didn't work for the emergence of President Bola Tinubu in the February 25 presidential election. At a presser, the chieftain of the party, AJ in Abuja, he said, Wike, like any other person, has a constitutional right to belong to any political party. And the authentic APC members agree that Wike should join the party and lead them as a man of vision. You could recall that over the weekend, Wokocha in a press statement had said that Rivers State APC never called, invited, or appealed to Wike to lead the party over his support in the last election. The statement further indicates that the former governor led the G5 governors who stood by equity, fairness, and inclusiveness and insisted on a president from the southern extraction against all odds. So the statement from AJ further reads in part, let me state it without missing words. The public should disregard those acclaimed Rivers APC leaders with feckless press statements against the real and authentic Rivers APC members led by Chief Tony Okocha, who fought, campaigned for Asiwaju's victory, while some unscrupulous, shameless elements who acted as moles within the party were working for Mr. Chibike Rotimi Amechi and Senator Magnus Abe against Asiwaju's victory. When will this drama end? And then lastly, the Punch newspaper this morning, Senate Minority Leader, PDP, Atiku set authority political parties. On return of plenary, July 4, the Senate President is expected to read a letter from the parties announcing their nominations for the minority leadership positions. Lawmakers who spoke on condition of anonymity claimed that Atiku is behind the choice of Tambuwal as minority leader. A source, Tambuwal is Atiku's choice as a PDP Senate leader, while Wike is also pushing for Jaribe as minority leader. Wike is looking for an opportunity to get back at Tambuwal over the presidential elections primary. The primary. It says, according to this source, he's still bitter, but the party would not allow him to try the same thing he did during the national elections with the National Assembly. That's what they are saying. And then some other sources reveal that the leadership of both the Senate and the House of Reps are, however, treading carefully on the matter. A source is revealing that having assisted APC to win the presidential election in Rivers State in February and supported the aspirations of the now elected 4 presiding officers of the 10th National Assembly, making one of his loyalists a principal officer is his next plan. And then it goes on and on, quite interesting. Media advisor to Atiku, Paul Libe, explained the reasons the former vice president is supporting the aspiration of the former Sokoto state governor. Libe says if his principal aligned himself with the position of his party concerning the Senate minority leader position, the same should not be misunderstood, adding that Atiku has always been a party man. And then it goes on and on and on. Okay, those are the stories this morning for review on the show. Between now and noon, we'll see how we can pay more attention to some of them today. I just want to go back to that drug abuse story. It was yesterday. 81% of commercial drivers abuse drugs. From where I am, I'm even just saying this is so correct, even though it's just a doctor that said it. He's a research doctor, so he may have the facts to back up what he's saying. But we'll look at this in vis-a-vis our reality. The way we see some of them drive, some of the things that they hold when they park and they want to cool down. You've even heard stuff like it keeps us awake. It keeps us awake. Some of the... One time they said they had banned alcohol in sachet, but we still see them. They still sell them. Well, what's their name? NAFDAC, they said they are working. So maybe we give them the benefit of the doubt and not be too critical of them. All right, we'll go straight to look at some of the stories. I want us to begin with this drug abuse story first this morning, and then we'll make progress from there. We'll switch from there to opinion poll. That will be after the news update at 9, and then other matters arising, of course. Mr. Ndukwe is very busy, so I'm just buying time. Are you ready now? Good morning, Mr. Ndukwe.
Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Nigeria.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And let me introduce our second guest, Dr. C.A.J. Chinwo, legal practitioner, secretary, Elders Council, Labour Party, River State, public affairs analyst, legal analyst living in Nigeria. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning.
What's up with everybody living in Nigeria? Is this something we should be actively including in our resume?
It is becoming, it's one of the biggest qualities to have, because even Nigeria is not another thing. It takes, in any country where I see so many people trying to run away, it means that it requires some attainment, some grace to be able to live in that country. And Nigeria is beginning to be one of that such countries. So
okay.
For a long time, we have it has become our acronym, and I notice that many people are beginning to agree with me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Started it.
Yes.
Let us start the joint.
Wow.
Yes, because they are realizing it takes a legal qualification to live in this country.
Wow. Okay. 81% of commercial drivers abuse drugs. Mr. Ndukwe,
Yeah.
is this far from the truth?
Kelly, at least on the face value, it looks like the truth, but one may not be very certain. But, you see, from the reality on ground, how the drivers behave and all that, one could just be saying it's near truth. I don't want to talk aside from, because I'm a human. But truly, the way they behave, maybe they'll add conductors. The way drivers and conductors behave, you can, confidently say that yes, they abuse drugs. Truly, the way they talk, in any little thing that should not make them flare, drivers will take offense.
And here they do some of the most annoying things on the road.
Of course now, and while they decide to do whatever against you, you'll be looking and thinking at the same time whether these are humans. So the issue is that that particular research, it depends. And again, I cannot doubt it because I have not conducted a research on that. Those who have come up with the research on that may have done a good job and then are now telling us. But gradually, maybe as they start coming, we start maybe looking at drivers with double eyes.
Dr. Chinwo, do you agree with this position?
Yeah, one of the most popular questions you hear asked on the road at Motor Park is, are you mad? Are you mad? You know they see. Something to worry you. These are very popular cliche among drivers.
They're always ready to fight.
So if they themselves have said that the next thing they will ask their colleague is, are you mad? Then you now know that this research figure may not be too far. Quite unfortunately, the government actually has created an environment that can make anybody, even a sober person, to be mad. When you are driving on Nigerian roads that are so bad, it requires some bit of craziness to even be able to drive on. When you're driving on Nigerian roads that people don't know rules, it requires some bit of craziness, unfortunately, it's craziness. So maybe the people have to now be in that mood. But I seem to agree with that research that 4 in 5 drivers seem to have something that shows that they are not as normal as when they left their homes. Yes.
So I've been thinking, there's no other day that we don't hear a story of the events or the efforts or the bravery of men of the NDLEA. But you see, it doesn't make most conversations in media spaces like when we talk about politics or some other issues. Why is that so? When we know that this thing is a menace that is something we're grappling with, the president is promising to deal with it. Saying it is one thing, having a plan to contain this is another. But does it seem as though even as a society, we seem to care less about this, even though we know that it's just around us?
You know, there are very many things that seem little that we overlook, but which are doing great harm to this country.
Yeah.
And so our habits, very little things we consider little, they are doing great harm. And one of it is this one now. The way our people behave in the public space, and especially the resort to narcotics and alcohol and all that to keep them quote unquote high, seem to be. And unfortunately, we have now gotten to a stage where it became a major talk of this last election, when a presidential candidate has been accused of drug this. But it's only a reflection of the society we have gotten into.
Yeah.
That people, we had a politician say, a 240 years old whiskey. Those are little things that people think that it doesn't matter. But the effect when it trickles down to the man in the village is that he may not be able to afford 40 years old whiskey. He looks for a 40 minutes old one produced in Abuja somewhere. He drinks it as if it's water. So these are things we have overlooked, but we must begin to realize they impact this nation very seriously.
How about the young man that listens to while they were doing that thing? I was taking a 40-year-old whiskey.
Yeah, I'm saying
that young man will be aspiring.
To
it
get
should be okay to take a 40
years old whiskey. So if he can't afford it, like I said, he will look for 40 minutes and drink, and the problem continues. So that's why we also plead with those in public spaces, our leaders, to understand that some of these things they do, the reverberating effects goes beyond far where they're thinking, because it just goes on. You go to the communities and see little boys, youths, how they act on the road, in the homes. You know that these ones are not normal. And it's because of this tendency of take something to be high, take something to do. So the man who is driving thinks that if he doesn't take something to be high, he can't drive. So people are thinking that they cannot even speak into the microphone and say, "How will give us privilege to do here?" if they don't drink. So you see somebody who is going to do a public speaking function in the morning, he drinks. We're having leaders who look like they're drunk by the time 9 o'clock in the morning, and you're wondering where are we going to. These are the effects of some of the things we do, and it causes great harm to a whole society. And that's why I pray, if President Tinubu has said he'll do so, he has to, because unfortunately, rightly or wrongly, this was tagged on him. And he has the big burden of saying, "No, I fight this. I'm not in support of it. I'm never part of it." If he has not been, if he has been and has changed for the good of Nigeria, he must have known the harm it is done to Nigeria and change it.
Mr. Nduko, how about young people and the negative influence of social media and celebrities? You watch music videos, you see them post things on social media, they are smoking away. It's like it's normal. And then the one that is without guidance sees it as what they should aspire to.
Well, Kelly, I think those in the public light, in other words, in the public eye, rather, have a lot to teach the younger ones who are watching them. It's just like I always say that government is like a mirror to the society. When you see, for instance, you are talking about celebrities, when you watch them on television, Kelly, you see what they do. You will be thinking whether they are doing that with their natural wisdom or something is making them, emboldening them to be more powerful and active. When a man becomes as an active person more than a human should be, something is wrong. And when we are talking about the NDLEA, they are doing a good job and all that. I think they are doing a good job, but they are not focusing on the grassroots. They are looking at maybe some people have given them hints and all that about gangs and all that. Yes, on the tip of the act, they go to those big people. But in some hideouts within the community, they are selling Indian hemp and all the rest of them. I was walking along the road with one person. We saw children lined up beside the gutter. And then I said, "What are these children doing here?" One man called me and said, "Ogasi, they are using a lizard dung. Lizard dung that they smell until the time they'll become high." That was the very first time I heard that kind of thing. I said, "Does it happen? How can somebody go and start looking for lizard dung and then you pick it, you start smelling it just for it to make you high? And then after making you high, what do you derive from there? When you eventually the thing went, because I said it certainly must wane off, and then you become as little as you have been by nature. Then what is the essence? By that time, perhaps you would have had your brain injured or whatever. So the issue is that the young ones are learning from those who have made it, who are known in society. And I think government should try to focus more on how to reduce these kind of issues of drug.
So Ribadu has resumed or assumed office as the National Security Advisor, and then he says a lot of things would happen as he's not going to disappoint Nigerians. We talked about Ribadu and his pedigree already. all of this talk, is it about time we saw action?
Kelly, I get tired with promises of government. Of course, through its officials. If Ribadu is going to do something, let us see it. This is one thing I will always tell you, saying we'll be believing. Until Emmanuel Ndukwe sees Ribadu do exactly what others have not been doing. He is the National Security Advisor. Yeah, now you check what Mongunu was. Always maybe to reach ahead before you hear Mongunu did this and that. But I think if Ribadu should act the way he did in EFCC, if you also check the number of years after that time, if age is anything to go by, he may also have slowed down. If he has slowed down, then you don't expect the agility of the younger age. But as he has made promise, Kelly, let us give him the benefit of the doubt.
Doctor, what's your reading on Ribadu's assumption of office?
Well, that's one person that a lot of people have a lot of high expectations from. A lot of people expect so much from Ribadu. He had established a reputation for being an efficient person in service. But the challenge Ribadu has, which many people also know should fear, is that Ribadu is the highest rank he had in the police was Assistant Inspector General of Police. That's equivalent of Brigadier General, I understand. But now to be the person, the military people have an attitude, very conservative attitude, perhaps in every organization.
Regimented,
thinking that even though if he was in service, he would have been maybe a full 4-star general before them. But because he didn't attain that, can he be able to manage it? If he can, but it's good that we have somebody like that now, because United States, we have had Condoleezza Rice.
Yes.
Who wasn't ever in the army.
Can we do ourselves a favor and stop comparing?
No, that's where we learn from. That's where if we desire to move forward.
If we have learned,
yes,
we should have made progress.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is our opportunity now to show we have learned and have made progress. If someone like Ribadu can try and show significant higher competence and knowledge, so that even the military will realize that this man knows better than us. This man can coordinate us well, and this man can take care of us more than ever. We'll make progress. But if we don't again, we'll fall back to the same old idea or traditional way of doing things. So I think that Ribadu has a reputation that Nigerians expect him to be able to do well. Well, will he do well? We have, like Emma said, we have had so many people who expected, who failed us signally. I just heard this morning, I think it's on the news that Gary Bashev was saying, you see, we couldn't remove this because we didn't have goodwill. But Buhari had greater number of votes and goodwill when he came in than Tinubu has. But so people have excuses every day. We don't know. I pray he doesn't give us excuse.
All right. Let's look at another story. Let me introduce our next guest this morning. The way he stormed in is like somebody was chasing him.
We're always fighting. Even in the dream. You have to be ready.
You see, I haven't even called his name. Body Chimene Esquire, legal advisor, PANDEF, that's the Pan Niger Delta Forum, Obiakpo chapter, a social activist and a voice for a Kinibo clan of people of Apara Kingdom. Morning to you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, Kelly.
Good to see you.
I've been missing you from distance. My lecturer, I salute you. We are really dealing with you at the tribunal. I told you that it will end up in praise.
It means you have been out of the news. It means you have been out of the news. If you have been listening to the news, if you have been listening to the news, you would have known that.
People are good on YouTube.
No, you would have known that.
They don't look at YouTube.
Every traditional media, you would have known that you are the ones who are wishing that we are never.
We are seeing the trailer of evidence. But at the end of the day,
let's allow the lecturer and students reminisce for a moment. Then we can continue.
Kelly, this is the first time I'm seeing evidence from all the trailer parks. I say, God.
You didn't see the last set. You didn't see the last set.
I saw the last. I wonder how the judges.
It shows you the volume of what Chimene Group have done to this country. That's the evidence of what they have done to destroy Nigeria.
People are cooking it up, but we are waiting. The judges are ready to read.
Welcome, Chimene.
Thank you very much, Kelly.
So, I'm not sure you were here when we talked about Ribadu at the time.
No.
But he has assumed duty.
Yes, I'm aware.
Are you excited about it?
Why will I not be excited? We prayed for this government. God forbid that I will not be excited. The Bible said that when people rejoice, others are rejoicing. We should join them and rejoice. And of course, when you look at the book of life, there are a lot of things that has to do with rejoicing. When you rejoice with others, you will rejoice equally. So you can say I'm happy the way I walked in. And for the enemies of Ribadio and this government, I'm sure they will be ashamed. We respect him with the avalanche of experience. This was a man, when he was in AFCC, his resume speaks for him. And that is why we keep saying, wherever you are, keep your hands clean. And please be diligent. Be very diligent. And these are people that are ready, to ensure that Africa is good. What Ribadio did here spoke for him here. And even after here, people are still speaking that he has done, incredibly well. They were the people that were pace setters in EFCC. And I can tell you we are enraptured. He has done perfectly well. And I'm sure within the corridors of expertise, Ribadio is a proficient in terms of security. The man is well read. It has nothing to do to have all the ranks. You can have 20 or be a brigadier general. We have seen them failed in the field. So not being a major general. What we are looking at is the goals. Can you deliver?
And you think he can deliver?
I can beat my chest to tell you.
That
You will
he
see
can
what will
deliver.
happen.
Okay.
Just, you will see what will happen.
Let's go to another story.
I know people are not happy.
Well, not everybody will be happy about
Let
situation.
them continue to be angry. You know the effect of not being happy. BP will come. Several things will come. We are happy. We are happy.
Tinubu would have lost if Buhari removed fuel subsidy. Garba Shehu. When I saw this yesterday, I said, "Who cares?" That's just what I said. I'm like, who cares really? Tinubu would have lost if Buhari removed fuel subsidy.
Garba Shehu.
Yes, let me take quotes now, just for the sake of time. I've achieved my aim, making just a few smugglers rich. Some countries were bleeding. Of course, this is President Tinubu speaking. Courage was missing. Sometimes I became an advocate of it. Remove this thing, but God gave me the opportunity when I danced around, strategized with my team. We won the presidency, blah, blah, blah. And then Shehu comes out. First, he comes out praising Tinubu for having the courage. He says Tinubu enjoys a lot of goodwill. Perhaps that's the first place of interrogation. Why did it take the new Shetima Tinubu presidency, should be the other way around, weeks to remove petrol subsidy when Buhari didn't do so for years? Failed to ask the right question. The massive electricity subsidy, the fraudulent fertilizer subsidy, Hajj Christian pilgrimage subsidies, remember them, all of them, we removed them, and he kept on going. So no, Buhari didn't remove petrol subsidy, but in vitally important stages, he removed every other budget-busting, egregious, economic growth, crushing subsidy along the way. And yet we're borrowing the way we're borrowing, and now even the DMO in an analysis is saying you have to be watchful of the way you're borrowing. So far, I have refrained from answering these repeated questions on the removal of subsidy in Nigeria on petrol, and that arising from the dual rates of the Naira in the central bank and the parallel market, why did Buhari fail to do this? First of all, my thinking is that instead of the former president answering this question, it is the party. The APC is best suited to speak, and failing to do this, we are forced to say what we would say now. We're mindful of the fact that Tinubu Shetima presidency now in place, and for which there is a new sheriff in town. We do not want to distract them from the onerous task facing them and the nation. Neither is it our wish to take the spotlight away from them in any way. In terms of the timing of the decision to remove fuel subsidy and to unify the currency, Tinubu administration has done overwhelmingly well. Even more importantly, they have been dexterous in managing the aftermath of decisions by successfully avoiding crisis. And there are certain parts I'm looking forward to. The decision to remove subsidy, as in our case, and we believe in all cases, was not for the president to take over by himself. That's why it's important to remind ourselves that all those who have conveniently forgotten the Buhari administration had been on this pathway from the beginning of 2015. So they go back to the traditional, let us blame the previous administration. Remove subsidies for Naira and petrol was skewed and put on hold. Look, for example, in Petroleum Industry Act, the important decision was kept for a better time. It could not have come at a time when tensions were high in the country and no responsible leader would have added fuel to the fire. In view of many, including those in the security circles, Only a new administration with a goodwill that feels a way house can attempt this. And here now comes in the wheat and grit of the Tinubu government. Finally, we must be politically honest with ourselves. Buhari administration in its last days could not have gone the whole way because the APC had an election to win. And that would have been the case with any political party that was seeking election for another term with a new principal at its head. Let's stop here. Tinubu enjoys a lot of goodwill. Tinubu won with a narrow majority. A very narrow majority. Less than 3 million votes. As against what we've seen in previous elections. But he's still the president of Nigeria. Yeah. Tinubu today doesn't even say that he has an overwhelming fans right now. He can't say so because of the way the election went. So is Garba Shehu correct in that assertion that he enjoys a lot of goodwill? So because he enjoys that goodwill, the people would excuse him if he makes a decision as the one that he has made?
Are you asking me?
Yes, please.
First of all, let's correct the assertion that he doesn't have majority of the people. And I think if you're a prophet, I will say this. I will tell you to your face that we didn't prophesy well this morning. Tinubu has overwhelming. I'm part of his supporters, and I'm sure we're in multitude.
And yet Tinubu could not win the election with 10 million votes. He could not win the election with 5 million votes. When President Buhari came on board, how many million votes did he win over Atiku with?
My brother, you see, all of these things you begin to ask yourself, what was the climate? Some of these people, opposition you hear today, created a party. In fact, people managed to come out in some of the area, particularly in the east. So what do you expect? We saw the majority of Labour Party, I'm twisting people in the east. These are part of people that wants to vote for Tinubu. We know what happened. Go and look at the evidence. We are tendering it this week. They have closed their case. They have closed their this thing. Go and look at what is going on. Look at the power of cross-examination, the testimonies that are coming out. What I'm saying is that
is it the same tribunal that we've all been?
Were you there? Have you been?
That we've been observing.
We're only watching. You're watching. Some of us are going and coming back.
And you're sure I've not been there?
You can't leave the studio. Go for it. This is your area of this thing. You can't leave. This is your farm. So what I'm saying is that, God forbid you say Tinubu. Tinubu has created a lot of multitude. When from Lagos, if you even say Buhari self, forget about the number of persons who voted for him in the north. We are talking about persons, group of persons. Tinubu has made people. Some of us are not in. You ask yourself, am I in APC? But because of the kind of love I have for the man, I pray for him. I told you these days I don't pray for myself. And a multitude of others. I was in church on Sunday. Pastor was calling his name for someone. The man forgot his sermon and was like, Tinubu is the best thing. Just how many days? A month in office. I'm not here to begin to sermonize, but for us to get that assertion correct, he has a lot of fans. People were twisted. Apathy was created. Those that are shouting that they won election, we saw what they did. You will say, look, there will be a lot of unfolding dramas that will happen.
Why does it seem to me as though you're taunting Dr. Chimo?
No, he was the one that brought us. They took us to.
It sounds that way, but let's excuse it.
Yes.
So you do feel that Tinubu enjoys a lot of goodwill,
very goodwill,
and then the decision he has taken is excused because of the goodwill that he enjoys.
That is it.
Mr. Ndukwe.
Kelly, you're leaving me.
No, we'll come back to you. You've answered the question.
Kelly, Tinubu does not enjoy much goodwill the way Garba Shehu wants Emmanuel Ndukwe, who is also mature to believe. Yours was personal opinion to you also. You see, Kelly, if he did, that election would have come out with an overwhelming margin over the second person. But we saw how narrow. See, and again, it shows that Garba Shehu knows that his own government, the government he served in, did not perform well. He doesn't have confidence in that government. He was only there working and taking his salary and could not leave office because his bread was always buttered through that particular stay in that office. Because how can you tell me goodwill is not something you keep until somebody comes, you now give it to him or no? Depending on your activities, before even you venture into politics, you will be not, and you'll be getting that goodwill and all that. But right now, he is saying it's Tinubu that has goodwill. So what are we to say that Buhari had bad will? You see, I don't know whether when they think and when they talk, they don't think through what they want to say before they say.
Maybe we're speaking based on the circumstances of the time.
Which circumstances?
A lot of things he mentioned, for instance, the biting insecurity challenge at the time, which they never acknowledged while they were in office.
See, Kelly, that's what I'm saying. Does Garba Shehu, even while he held sway in his office, in fact, nobody should talk, only himself at that time. But I'm asking him the question, is it Emmanuel Dukwe that should have come in and then removed the insecurities everywhere in the country? And at that time that it was happening, was he not saying that President Buhari has done everything in insecurity? So for me, he had no confidence in the government he served in, and that is why he's president. The president he served under, he doesn't also have confidence that he did well and so could have people's goodwill.
Dr. Chimo, let me turn this to you now. Yes, they refused to remove it for political consideration because it was likely that it would have made worse their slim chances of winning the election. And then the way the election turned out is even a manifestation of how slim it was and how difficult it was for them to win that election overwhelmingly. However, they made a political decision. Garba Shehu was telling us now that they had to make a political decision to stay in power. Is removal of subsidy the issue or the functioning of refineries for Nigerians?
The functioning of the whole Nigeria and the unfunctioning of refineries. Unfortunately, we have exalted politics over governance. As my good friend Chimenem is saying here, I think one of the things I try to do and I encourage us to do is to understand that as you enter filling station, I've never had it asked, which party do you belong to? Mm-hmm. Which village do you come from? Which religion are you? People are concerned with governance. The challenge that Buhari faced, Tinubu faced, Obi would have faced if it was declared, Atiku would have faced if it was declared. So we must therefore get to the point of viewing things dispassionately. And then the question you're asking is, or I should be asking is, should we allow politics to govern our governance decisions?
Apparently, it does.
It does.
It's always what is put in front.
I really, I don't know whether it is possible to do otherwise. Just yesterday, William Ruto signed a law which was against what he even told the people. Yes, because he said taxation will be lower for the poor. But he signed a finance law which the people are saying, you have abandoned us. Governance is not easy. And we who are following and the politicians should understand that governance is not easy. On this issue of fuel subsidy, I remember very clearly when Buhari said in 2014 that there's nothing like fuel subsidy. But to see that after 8 years, fuel subsidy that Buhari claimed became triple what Jonathan's government ever claimed. I remember that in 2012, Jonathan said, let us have a proper economic price for fuel. The Lagos, Tunde Bakare, Fashola, all of them, Tinubu, shut down Lagos. That is the danger when you over-politicize certain things. Jonathan saw it then. It wouldn't have even been an issue by now. If we told Jonathan, okay, remove the fuel, let's find the palliatives. Did he even make immediate provision? But no. It's a pity now, like my good friend is now turning, Chimenem is now, but we're talking about governance. Because it concerns all of us. The woman in the village, it takes grace now for any landlord not to double his rent. It takes grace for any taxi man not to try to increase the price. For you here in the studio, it takes grace for you to say that what you are charging for advert yesterday is what you charge today. And it can't happen. All of us are paying the prices. So we must find Chimenem, my friend, has increased his rent. His tenants are already complaining. Now, so these are the challenges we face in this country, and we must know. Now, I commend Tinubu that he took the decision at the best time. I mean, I listened to it. Listen.
The best time.
Yeah, the best time, because see, you know why? For in a presidential politics, we don't have this issue of vote of confidence or all that. So whatever hard decision you say, take it from the first day, so that over 1 year, 2 years, you would have seen the effect on the people. It have been winning. So I was telling some of my colleagues that look, Obi is in tribunal, Atiku is in tribunal. If any of them would win in the tribunal and become president, they should go and thank Tinubu for taking away the biggest monster from the road on their behalf, because all they can do is only be to say, okay, Nigerians, we will reduce it from, or will be tax subsidy to 10%. Suddenly the man will answer a good name, but even though to increasing our problem. But that decision has been taken. It has been. We are beginning to feel it now. Everybody, and I was thinking this morning I would take another route to come here. I said, no, let me take the normal route, because there's the people who also go traffic men and all that now going seriously. The road was as clear as it has never. I've never seen it on a Tuesday. Because these days, Chibana will leave his car in the house. He doesn't drive his car again. People like that. Many people are leaving their cars off the road because people are trekking. I told a colleague of mine, maybe you have to import bicycles in this country. Let's begin to resort to Holland and ride bicycle. Because we must face the reality of our life. You understand? We produce nothing, we eat, we consume everything. The one that God gave us, we destroy it. We must face the reality that if there's a subsidy to be taken. But I am still saying that from what Buhari said, which is seeming so, their subsidy is a scam. The same people, same group, they have continued. Kaduba Shehu, is a very lame excuse. I don't know how history will deal with Buhari, but it's not the way Buhari is doing it. He can't tell us that 8 years he had is only the last month of his season to say that's why they removed the subsidy. Yes. No,
that's when all the goodwill
turned
to evil.
He had a greater goodwill because, like I said, Tinubu won the election against Jonathan with over 4 million votes. I mean, Buhari. No, Tinubu is just 36%. His votes of supporters, including Chimenem, is far less than those who voted against him. So he can't have goodwill. But if he does well, it is still in the interest of every Nigerian.
All right, we have to go for the news update. When we come back for the news update, after paying some bills, we'll look at we'll continue with this story and other stories on Opinion Poll. Bryce Awadi, please, when we come back, we'll take your reaction. Stay with us.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
A very good morning to you. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. President Bola Tinubu is scheduled to return from London today ahead of the Eid al-Kabir celebration. The presidency had on Saturday said the president headed for the UK from France, where he had been attending a summit for a new global financing pact hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron. However, the statement was silent on the particular day the president would return, saying Tinubu will be back in the country in time for the upcoming Eid al-Kabir celebration. Confirming the day of his arrival, presidency sources told newsmen that Tinubu would return to his private Ikoyi home in Lagos later today to observe his first Salah celebration as president. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has approved the redeployment of 98 officers of air rank. Prominent among the new appointees are branch chiefs, air officers commanding, commandants of tri-service establishments, and Nigeria Air Force institutions, according to a statement by the Air Force spokesperson, Famuyiwa. The newly appointed senior officers are expected to assume office not later than Monday, July 3, 2023. Some victims of the employment scam have Some victims of an employment scam have narrated how criminals lured them to pay from 4 to 500,000 naira to get fake overseas jobs. The victims, who spoke to newsmen at the River State Police Command headquarters on Moscow Road, Port Harcourt, said the syndicate collected their money, detained them for some days, and forced them to promise bringing other victims before they would be released. The leader of the syndicate, Solomon Ugodo, who spoke to newsmen, admitted taking money from some persons who registered on an online platform managed by his group, noting that they were surprised when the persons invited the police. On the foreign scene, Israeli government has advanced plans for 5,700 new homes in the occupied West Bank. The announcement comes despite U.S. pressure to stop settlement expansion, which it sees as an obstacle to peace with the Palestinians. 4 Israeli settlers were shot dead by Palestinians last week, prompting days of settler violence. Violence between Palestinians and Israelis had fled since Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was re-elected last year. And that's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. Good morning.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Did you know that there are over 8 million listeners connected to our frequency, covering 6 states across 2 geopolitical zones? Take advantage of our reach and advertise your products, services, events, and businesses on Today 95.1 FM. Get value for your money as millions of people get to know about your business. Give us a call now on 0818 389 2850. Again, 0818 389 2850.
We thank you so much for staying with Today 95.1 FM. We have a very special guest joining us from UNICAF, the global educational organization that is offering incredible opportunities for career advancement through their scholarship programs. Please help me welcome our guest from UNICAF. Good morning and welcome. Hello, can you hear me? Good morning. Oh, are we having some technical issues? Can you hear me? All right, let's see if we can reconnect in a bit. Can you hear me? Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, fantastic. We've been able to sort that out. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I must say the pleasure is really ours to have you join us today on the show. Now, for our listeners who might not be familiar with UNICAF, could you please tell us about the organization?
Okay, so UNICAF is a global educational organization with headquarters in Europe. We partner with prestigious British university as well as the leading UNICAF university in Africa to offer bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degree in a wide range of programs. So what sets UNICAF apart is our commitment to making education more accessible. We offer scholarship opportunities of at least 75%, giving students the chance to obtain internationally recognized degrees. And with our online learning platform, that allows students to study at their own pace while balancing their careers and personal life. So up to date, we have over 60,000 students who have benefited from the UNICAF Scholarship Opportunity Program, transforming their life as well as their career.
Wow, truly impressive. Tell us more about the scholarship program.
Okay, so I must say that the scholarship program is available to students from African countries, which Nigeria is inclusive, who are passionate about furthering their education. And it's a chance for them to gain a high-quality education from prestigious university without having to worry about the heavy financial burden.
Okay. Can you explain the application process?
Okay, so I must say that the application process is simple as well as straightforward, because all interested students need to do is give us a call.
Hello, can you hear me?
That is 07.
Okay, can you repeat that, please? We lost the connection for just a bit.
Okay, so I said that all interested students need to do is give us a call or send us a WhatsApp message on 07000 111 000. That is 07000 111 000. And all they would need to do is submit their educational qualification, a personal statement, and also a reference letter. And we have a dedicated team that will guide them through the process and provide any assistance that they might need at all.
All right. This sounds really wonderful. I'm sure many aspiring students out there would love to know more about the universities that they can study with your scholarship program. So can you take us through the UNICAF partner universities?
Yes, so I must say that we are proud to partner with not just one, but three exceptional British universities. We have the University of East London, which is recognized for being among the top 200 young universities and for also being among the top modern universities in the UK. We also have the Liverpool John Moores University, which is one of the largest, most dynamic and fast-forward thinking universities in the UK, and not leaving out the University of Suffolk, which recently ranked 90% graduate employability rate. And finally, we have the UNICAF University in Africa, with campuses in Malawi, Zambia, and Uganda, which offer a full spectrum of accredited degrees. And these are partnership with these UK universities, provide sought-after degrees to boost careers in fields such as an MBA, human resource management, digital marketing, health, engineering, IT, law, and many more.
All right, so I know that there's a lot of excitement going on just by the information you're sharing.
Yes.
But for those that are really eager to benefit from these opportunities, can you give us a brief summation on the application process?
Okay, indeed. So I would say that this is a beautiful time to take the brave step towards career growth. UNICAF is offering this financial assistance to Nigerians to study towards a bachelor, master's, and doctoral degree. So by applying through UNICAF, you get to save 75% of your tuition fee. And all you have to do to apply to get a customized education plan, just give us a call or send us a WhatsApp message, and the student advisor will be ready to speak with you on 07000 111 000. That is 07000 111 000.
All right. It sounds like students would have access to world-class education with these university partnerships. But let's talk about the financial aspect. How affordable is it for students even with the scholarship?
Okay, so I would say that with the 75% scholarship, students can actually breathe a sign of relief as the financial burden is significantly reduced. So they are only responsible for a small portion of this tuition fee. And what's even better is UNICAF understands the importance of financial flexibility, which is why we offer flexible payment plans. So these plans are designed to make the education process more affordable as well as more enjoyable for the students by taking away the stress of, no more payment deadlines. Students can fully concentrate on their studies, knowing fully well that their financial obligations are totally under control. So UNICAF believes truly in making education, in quality education, more accessible to everyone.
Very commendable. Accessibility is crucial when it comes to education. Now, can you share any success stories from students who have benefited from this scholarship program, for example, and how can someone indeed boost their chances of employment?
Okay, so I would say that boosting employability requires having a relevant degree, and that should also come from a prestigious institution. So it is important that you choose a university with very high graduate employability rates. And at UNICAF, we have created a world-class virtual learning environment that combines these factors, so enabling students to achieve their career goal In fact, based on the UNICAF graduate survey, we have about 90% of our alumni reported that the UNICAF scholarship has improved their career. We have an additional 89% who believe that their education experience and degree has helped them develop the necessary skills for their current job. And we have seen our alumni hold senior level positions within one to 2 years following their graduation. And you have about 91% of postgraduate students who have enhanced their academic abilities as well.
Well, these are remarkable, I must say. Can you give us some examples of where UNICAF graduates are working?
Oh, certainly. So we have our graduates working for a whole host of renowned companies and organizations. We have Vodafone, MTN, Nokia, Amazon, and not just do they work in Nigeria, but so many have found employment internationally in countries like the US, Jamaica, China, Italy, Egypt, and so many more. So UNICAF focuses on providing skills that are necessary for the workplace, making our graduates employable globally.
Well, there you have it, folks. UNICAF is revolutionizing education by offering 75% scholarships to study online for internationally recognized degrees through their partnerships with prestigious universities. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your career. Call or WhatsApp UNICAF today at 07000 111 000. I'll take that again. 07000 111 000. I must say thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing this incredible opportunity with our listeners. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Are you there, madam? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm grateful for the opportunity to spread the word. About this life-changing scholarship program. Let's remember that education is the key to unlocking endless possibilities. Thank you so much.
Before we go, can you take the number one last time?
Okay, so it's 07000 111 000. That's 07000 111 000.
All right. Thank you so much again.
All right. Thank you so much.
Well, stay with us. We continue with a review of the papers as we switch our attention to opinion poll on today's Quest newspaper review segment on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima Gonowe.
Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
All right, we thank you so much for staying there. Newspaper review segment on today's Quest, Today 95.1 FM. Kelly Kemenjima is my name, yours truly. We're looking at the papers. We've been able to look at some stories just to have some kind of appreciation of what they are really about. This drug abuse issue and the menace of it, with the president somewhat assuring that he will fix it. If you missed this one, the DISCO, at least one of them, has now come out to say, please disregard planned tariff increase, as approval has not been given for the increment yet. Approval has not been given for the increment yet. That increment the announcement has to be made by the NERC. That's the regulator of the distribution companies. They have to make that announcement, and I haven't seen that announcement. That's why I've been saying that officially I haven't heard, but unofficially it appears that it's been everywhere, and they've come out with this information to say please disregard. Well, it doesn't mean that it's over yet, so we just have to wait and see. And then we also looked at some other stories. Let me ask Dr. Chumu, who's in the studio just now, while we wait for Barrister Wodi to join us in a bit. PDP knocks governor earlier for paying 1 month salary. This story, for what it is annoying. In Benue State, 7 months salary is what we're hearing was owed by the previous administration. The new governor comes on board. He promised he was going to pay salaries. After complaining that a lot of looting happened, and they've even gone ahead to set up a committee to see how they can investigate and probe some of those things, he's been able to pay 1 month. The PDP comes out mocking him for not paying 4 months, but paying just 1 month. Does it make any sense?
That's why I said we've exalted politics and made serious things to look unserious. The people and the government, those in leadership. Otherwise, PDP should be ashamed of itself that it left even 1 month of salary unpaid in a state. Now to come out and use it as what we used to mock the incoming government that he couldn't carry away the mess we left. It's the embarrassment we face in Nigeria, but it has become almost the rule that those in government, public service think that they have right to create a mess and leave it, and they use it against the incoming government. It's utterly a shame for a nation and for the government. Just like what Garba was saying, we left lifting up for this thing because we thought we realized we didn't have goodwill. So you are a failure. Yeah, the same man will say he succeeded. So it's the same thing there. It's a shame that the PDP government in PDP in Benue State will mock a man who has not even spent 1 month and managed to pay 1 month's salary. But unfortunately, Benue State has always had this record of, right from the Second Republic, of not paying salaries. Aperaku then we remember very well. So it was up to 20 months and all that. When autumn came, you also complained though that Susuma left salaries unpaid and all that. I pity the civil servants in Benue State. But for this terrorist attacks now, what they used to do is that the civil servants in Benue are no more for farming than even going to civil service work. They go to their farm and they ignore it. It's a civil service state.
Maybe that's why they're not getting paid.
The state is producing absolutely nothing. They could have done so with good governance because they have arable land, they have the resources by now. But they didn't even before now. Then terrorist attackers worsened the whole thing. So I pity those who work in civil service in Benue State. It's a shame.
Okay, let's turn our attention to opinion poll. Would have Bryce Awadi when he joins in, and Chief Okere is also in the building, so would have them join as well. I found this statement really compelling. If talk is anything to take serious, which you know that we don't take talk serious, it's cheap. This would have been a good thing. Workers should earn enough if we must win the war against corruption. Speaker of the House of Reps is speaking. Workers should earn enough if we must win the war against corruption. In context, he wasn't just speaking of those that are in the workforce, the employee of the federal government or the state government. He's talking about work in general. And there's a huge gap in Nigeria because what some persons earn in some places, it doesn't apply to other places. And negotiation becomes a problem because some people don't even have rights that can be enforced in law as to what their wages should be and so on. You hear in some countries where they say, oh, for this migrant student class, we're giving you certain % increase in your wages. And when they go for jobs, they negotiate based on that. The person who wants to employ you cannot afford to cheat you because if you report them, they'll be prosecuted. It's that swift. But this is what the Speaker of the House of Reps is saying, that salary review for workers will discourage stealing and corrupt practices at the workplace. He said a regular review of workers' pay will encourage them to be honest and transparent in their dealings. According to a statement by Musa Abdullahi, one of the aides to the Speaker of the House of Reps, he spoke at an event organized in honor by the Nigerian High Commission in London. And he says salary of workers needs to be reviewed to reflect the current reality in the country. An average worker earns less than what somebody can use, perhaps himself, can use to buy fuel to fill his tank. Do you still want that man to be honest and transparent? We need to also intensify the war against corruption. No society in this world can ever thrive and be what it wants to be if corruption is the order of the day. But I agree that for you to fight corruption, there are things you need to do. Let's take the example of UK experiment for the Western world. I want to skip all of these foreign countries. For us to wage war on corruption, we need to create an enabling environment where each and every one of us will be able to operate transparently without having to steal, intimidate, beg, or borrow. That is the beginning of the reform. We can get the rule of law working we'll be able to work on the reforms necessary for fighting corruption. In fighting corruption, we also need to create an enabling environment where an average worker should be able to earn enough to live with his family. Fine statement, yes, Doctor?
Fine statement. Well, there are some fundamental errors in his premise. It is not actually the volume of pay that encourages a person to be corrupt or not corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt that there's everything should be done to encourage those who work on the path of propriety, who don't want to be corrupt. People should be paid their fair wages. There's no argument about that anywhere in the world. Nigeria should realize that people are entitled to fair wages. It's basic. It's an eternal truth. But you see, to think that it is people are corrupt because they are not well paid is a fundamental misconception. Some of the politicians who have looted this country dry. We saw it during this Naira issue. People loot money and pack it there, doing nothing with it. You see, corruption, money has a spirit. As that, the more you get it, the more you go out for it. And if you started getting it in the wrong way, the more you loot, the more you steal, the more you want to steal. That's
because every time you try and you succeed.
You succeed.
It becomes a push for you to do more.
Yeah, yes. So the most corrupt people are those who have even been corrupt. They're increasing opportunities. If the man was corrupt as a local government chairman, if he becomes governor, he will be corrupt. If he becomes president, he will be corrupt. If a man was corrupt as a manager of a small bank, if he becomes manager of First Bank, he will be corrupt. A man was corrupt as a filling station, if he's an NPC manager, he will increase in corruption. That is the way it is. So the presumption that once salary is increased, corruption will cease. No. But I think that if we are fair in our society, people should be made to earn fair wage for their labor. And that's one it doesn't require any political statement because we are suffering today because there are many people who I know in public service. I mean, I've been a lecturer and I know that there are many people, lecturers, who will not make room for sorting, who will not sell grade, who will not, and they are even seeing their colleagues who will come to the class and count the number of students and multiply by say 5,000 and say I must get this during this period. But they are staying on the
and is likely to get it.
They will get it now. They will get it. So that's why you are riding your second-hand car. The man is riding new car. He's doing nothing better. And he even mocks you. He says, be there now. I think it won't be good. You understand? So we must pay those who have godliness and contentment godly and contented wages which they deserve. But if you don't pay something, I'm telling you that those I know, I for one, will not become corrupt because he didn't pay me well. If he gets bad, I get out of the system and look for it because I believe you should be able to find what.
But the challenge with that is you will not find too many persons with your kind of stand.
Too bad.
So they'll compromise.
It means the society is in crisis. Any society that cannot find enough persons who will say we will be contented with what we have, that society is in deep crisis, and that's what Nigeria is suffering. We don't have many people who are contented or who are saying, if it's not okay here, I'll go elsewhere and look for legitimate pay. If they don't have those people, that society is in crisis, and that's what they're facing. But it is not merely increasing wages that will solve corruption. Otherwise, the Nigerian politician would have stopped corruption now. You are saying, go to the states and see what the governors have done. Go and see what the politicians are doing. You would have thought that. But you will have a man who has been a governor, for instance, and say if he's in the Senate, he say, no, don't give me any more salary. I want to start my nation for free. Have you ever seen that? No. But there are nations where we have had people say, I'm not coming here to take salary. But you are saving now. Tinubu's wife said the other day that she and her husband will be contented with what they have had. Good thing to say. But by the time Tinubu finishes, you will hear that he has been maybe involved in one kind of sleaze or the other that will even shake Nigerian foundation. That is unfortunately where we are. It's not a function of how much they have, but it's a function of the integrity quotient that people have. And unfortunately, it's very low for many people in Nigeria.
Is it enough to just have the speaker make some of these remarks at that global event? Because it's always at this global event that they make remarks like this. Very fine statement.
Nigeria makes a group. Nigerians, I said that in 2003 in the conference. Nigerians make the best statements or speeches when it comes to justice, righteousness in public office, a lack of corruption. Nigeria had the best speeches, but people are waiting to see the reality. That's what you're waiting for.
The performance of
I'm telling you, if a Nigerian lawyer or judge talks to you about rule of law, you think that this country must be a deep place to go to. But they are not seeing it. If a Nigerian leader, that's why when they go to United Nations, Nigerian leaders are among the longest speakers. And everything they say is very good, quotable. But people are wondering.
Maybe except for one who didn't quite understand what he was saying.
Well,
at the times when he was speaking.
Well, the speech that was written contained this thing, so if he didn't present, too bad. But I'm saying we are good in making speeches. That's the point I'm making. We are good in making. The Nigerian preachers are some of the best preachers in the world in everything. When it comes to talking, we are good talkers. We are good in dramatics. But people are waiting in vain to see the reality in our lives. If we got it, I mean, no, is there any IG that has come? Then they went to go was speaking. He needed to listen to his speech or read the speech. Wonderful. You would have thought that the Nigerian police will change. But by the time he's leaving, let's see whether it's not going to be worse than the man who he took over from. That's the unfortunate situation of our nation.
Let me just ask you this particular question before I take the contribution of others in the studio.
Yes.
What can the speaker do? If he were to be serious about what he has said,
yes,
what can he do?
He can start by showing example with his immediate staff. Then with members of the National Assembly. To show that, look, if it is that people should be fairly paid and justly paid, and people should not be paid more than what they deserve in the context of a nation. When he starts that, people will know he's serious. Then he start by making leading his members to make the right laws and to ensure that enforced, not at any cost. You don't go for oversight function demanding money. The people realize that they needed extra money to wait to entertain you. So if they can lead by example, this country is one of the easiest countries to lead, because it's a country that people are ready to follow example, but they are lacking. At the last NBA conference, Chimamanda Amanji said that Nigerian youth are in eager search for more role models. They're not having them, but once they have, they follow.
Let me go to Mr. Ndukwe. The speaker talks about fairness in wages as one of the things necessary for the fight against corruption, to reduce corruption significantly in Nigeria. Do you think that if his words were to go the way of the work, it will help?
I think he's on point, but will it in reality translate to what he has said? Because like CAJ was saying, we love to speak, and of course we are masters at speaking. And then, but in action, in the execution of all that we have said very proficiently, I think we lack there. Should I say what is happening to everybody in the country? I can't say it's everybody, but those in the public eye are always those who make up the maybe people known and reckoned with. So you talk about government officials and individuals who are not government officials but who are known very well. Experts are saying this and that and how to do them. In theory, I always say, but in practice, we do differently.
Bryce Achimene, let's do this first. He joined us before we went on that news break. Chief Loveday Okere, JP, social political activist, community leader, and voice of Eche, living in River State. Okay, he is living in River State. Morning, Chief. Welcome.
A new one also, voice of Eche.
Thank you. All right, and I've introduced him already.
I don't need them.
I was going to take your reaction to the statement by Garba Shehu. We have lawyers. There are plenty here today. But I'm not afraid.
No.
You were talking about, looking at the Garba Shehu statement, that for political reason we couldn't remove subsidy. We've gone past the sympathy and no sympathy. But does it make any sense to you? He said for the fact that the APC has refused to speak, he's now compelled to make a statement. Buhari send a message.
Well, what we do within the political sacristy, what we recognize is eye service. You see, Kelly, it's like what I'm shouting here. I'm equally looking for relevance. In Christianity, you have to be born again, and you start suffering reading the Bible.
You didn't have to say that out loud.
Let me just open up. So, what promotes you in politics? In army, you have to go to war. In politics, you have to do eye service.
Wow.
You have to pick your gas here. Even when his colors are very straight, you have to say, this thing, you get as he be, you straight it for him. You start touching him. Those are the acknowledgement
Wow.
the way you can. It's proficiency in politics. What he's doing in your own eyes, which is moral, to most of us, both morality and immorality, every other things. I've told people that there is no righteousness in politics. Whatever you can do, if it is to indict somebody and that will promote you, that is what politics is. That is what is obtainable.
Isn't that dangerous living?
Let me refer you to.
Isn't it dangerous living? Sorry for interjecting.
It's not. It's not. It's not at all. Let me refer you to the former president of Tanzania, Pombe Joseph Magufuli, late. Immediately the pandemic started, he said, please, let us pray. That prayer can kill everything, both mountains. Immediately he died. You know, the vice was so close to him that she can't do anything for John Magufuli. But immediately he died, he didn't take 1 week. She took off out of office and said, look, she even said pandemic is the worst. But what I'm saying is that whatever you will do to indict your enemy, that is what you can do in politics. You have to. There is no decency in it. The man who invited Kwame Nkrumah made him the president while he was reading overseas, even though he's a Pan-African student, became his first enemy. So in politics, there is no permanent friend, no permanent. What you do, you keep promoting yourself. There was a song I raised. In fact, I'm releasing a song for the former governor of Rivers State, which I wouldn't want to sing here now. It's a praise kind of. The stanzas are very well. What am I looking for? Promotion. Let him know me. I know my enemies are listening now. Or good friends. Let him know me. I service. Do you understand me? So when Chief was coming in here, you can see I shifted the chair for I sit down. There is somebody that will come here and won't do it. What am I looking for? That guy. Timene is a good man. He's a good man.
So is it eye service that Garbachew is doing? For who?
My brother, from people like us and other people that are bigger than us in politics. That thing that he has said now has made waves. Go and look at the bylines of newspapers. Why they are reading it, people are looking at it. Even the former president will recommend him. If you look at what is going on in government now, the new governors that are coming in, people that are coming in, somebody is recommending them. Look at that guy. He's good though. You know, while I was there, that guy has done well. Please pick him, put him there. It's as a result of, go and look at radio stations. People are going in to speak. Even when you can't speak any good English, go there and talk. That man, the past governor, he's a good man. Go and look at the praises on different radio stations. Even when the governor is resting at home, people are still saying, His Excellency, you have done well. You have done well. You continue to live. Those things are your rank in politics.
Wow.
That's the only way you can have the rank. I'm not a sergeant. I'm looking to be a general.
So this is survival instinct. That's what it is.
Every time I look at my lecturer, Dr. Chiwo,
don't worry,
they are from the righteous part of politics. There is nothing like sacristy in politics. For those of us who understand the dirtiness of it, for you may just look at it as, being a... But for you to communicate and have the communal kind of, the communion of politics, you must be loyal. It's not 99%, 100%. Okay. And in doing that, eye service is the number one thing.
Okay, so let me take you to the second subject, which
Thank you very much.
Which we've also looked at. Speaker Habas, your man.
Yeah, he's my man, and you continue to be my man for now.
Your man says we need to look at our wages in Nigeria and let it be fair to all. Let it be fair to all. That is, you should earn for the work that you're doing. Earn the right wage. It will help to contain corruption. Do you agree?
My brother, corruption has come to stay within the shores of Africa. One of the best relations.
And nobody can do anything about it.
Look, if you try to fight corruption in Africa, did you listen to William Ruto's address?
Part of it.
See,
at the summit.
Yes. See, let me tell you, it's like what they are telling that they are not begging the Europeans. But then they know we are subservient to them. And there's nothing we can do. Look, corruption has come to stay. Even those that are saying it, that the wages and all the rest, look at the assembly. Recently, there was an increment, which they have denied. But we all know these are internal mechanisms. If you say you want to run a righteous kind of politics, where people aim whatever they work for, there are those that are still monsters within civil service. Those whose files and tables, what they do is that when money comes in, they will put it beneath the table. Those people, see, who are the people that will, when you work, they will give you? As I speak to you now, most states are owing. Look at what happened to Autumn. 7 years.
7 months.
7 months.
And then the PDP has the moral justification to taunt the governor after paying 1 month.
Now, to do what?
They were taunting the government for paying 1 month's salary.
That's what I'm saying. So if he had not paid, will you go and kill him? Will you kill him? What I'm saying is that if we have if there is an organogram, right now, when you commit financial crime in China, you will be killed. It has been there. They are still letting people know. There are things you do, you won't be forgive. I mean, as a leader in China, as somebody, whichever parastatal you're heading, hence, it's a public service. You will go to prison. If not life imprisonment, you don't have such in Nigeria. How many of the governors have gone in?
Do we need such harsh punishment to
for you
to scare corruption in the minds of?
That is the only way we can. That is the only way we can eradicate such vices. That is the only way we can have those wages that the speaker is talking about. That is the only way we can correct. Look, somebody believes that. Look at the minor gate. Where is minor today? Where is the Desianis of this world? Even though we are yet to...
She has appealed now.
That's what I'm saying.
Now she's
if we have a system that is well accelerated, that has a timeline, so time, this matter should fizzle out. Look at what is happening to Jacob Zuma. Who would have thought that a court anywhere in South Africa will convict Jacob Zuma? Who will even believe that most leaders today in Africans, most of the courts in Africans today are rising up? Today in Kenya, we are citing Kenya. Immediately after the matter, the election and all the rest, even though Dinga is still shouting today, in fact, he's stopping everywhere, but soon, I'm sure, he will be arrested by Ruto. Because what we are saying is that we need to restructure the institutions. We have weak institutions. If you go to police station today, I have a friend. When you go to most of the police, bail is free. Some of them are no more putting it again because it's becoming a shameful thing. Bail is free. But you have to look at the IPO. If you call IPO, my leg, they pay me. When once you transfer something, his leg, there will be miracle. He will start coming close. So what we are saying is that how do we restructure most of these institutions? People will have to rise. There must be sacrifice. What you call Nigeria today, people died. The likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Herbert Macaulays of this world, they all stood and they laid down their. They have to allow people to. The country, they have to lay down their life. Today, do we have such people? We have leaders that are the only thing we have to do is that we must begin to restructure from the federal level.
Okay.
We have to look at the organogram.
Okay.
There are a lot of laws. Every day we want to repeal our laws. They are all there, but they are not biting. Somebody will have to execute it.
So we need to strengthen the institutions.
Thank you, wages. The man that is talking, I know I'm part of this government, but what we are saying is that the wages that they are talking, how much are they being in? We have to reduce the level of the exorbitancy of public service.
Okay.
That's the only way, and that will help to.
Chief, two issues we have to look at. So let me ask you, Guy Bashir's comment that if they had removed fuel subsidy, APC would have lost the election. It's very possible, though, because the margin of win is very slim. It would have happened. They were dealing with fuel crisis at the time. There was Naira redesign and Naira swap policy at the time, and they did not handle it well. Plus insecurity biting at the time. So if they had perhaps not so prudently decided to do something that they would have termed was necessary and they remove fuel subsidy, the anger would have been higher.
Kelly, I wish you may be a politician, but you are not a partisan one. I wish you are a partisan politician.
No, I'm not.
You would have known that if you take a man back to things that happened before the election, a lot of intra-party maneuvering. You would have known that at the time, politicians were not looking at their political party any longer. They were looking at interests and where they can fit in. It happened in PDP, it happened in APC, the two major political parties. So perhaps,
and it's still happening in Labour Party.
They're all happening now.
It's still happening.
They're only the post-election happenings.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the other one that happened before the election.
They were righteous.
So they were right. They claimed to be righteous, but now
their righteousness is being tested.
The sin of their forefathers have visited them. We do respect to my senior brother here. So perhaps I will say that if Garba Shehu, the likes of Garba Shehu, Malami, and the other ones who Tinubu assume that they were working against him, his interest. If they had known that removal of fuel subsidy would have fueled Tinubu's failure, they would have done it that time. Because the thinking of Tinubu team was that these men were working against him. So, and that was why they introduced the monetary policy that crumbled the economy. And I was asking them, how can a party who wants to win the election bring in this kind of policy
at the time they brought it
1 month before the election? That this is unusual. What we normally see, even all over the world, is that if during the election period, political parties try to do things that will, assuage electors to look towards them. They will plead for leniency. PDP used to plead for leniency that time through which is secondus. They will come and beg for forgiveness.
So some of them denied though.
No, it was there now. It was in the public.
No, some of them denied though.
That they didn't apologize.
Samuel Wanosike told me, Kelly, show me where they apologized.
No. Uche Secondus came to the public and apologized.
I'm telling you now that Samuel Wanosike told me.
This is cheap love dog talking now.
I said some of them denied. Are you hearing it?
Maybe there are different kinds of apology. There are different kinds of apology. I'm telling you that Uche Secondus, the national party chairman of PDP, as at them, apologized to Nigerians for whatever evil. That was when Atiku contested in 2019. He apologized. So what I'm trying to say,
truth. That's what happened.
I'm telling you. So what I'm trying to say is that if Garba Shehu had known that the best way for Tinubu to lose the election was to remove fuel subsidy, they would have done it.
So they did not know.
They didn't know. They were thinking that this one already, because if you watch,
maybe the damage had been done. They were thinking the damage had been done.
Thank you, because the fuel price was increased from 168 to 170 to 200 and something, 500 and something. Remember that in January
we bought as high as I bought 500 at some point.
In January we were buying 500.
Some people sold 600.
So they were thinking that the damage in that aspect has already been done. So the only thing we have to do is to introduce the monetary policy. So, but
to kill it.
So now when Tinubu started shouting, now those who had a little fear in them started being mindful, adjusting themselves. So if Garba Shehu had known that this was nailing the coffin, was to remove the fuel subsidy, they would have done it. So just that Tinubu team try in their own way, because in Nigeria it is the survival of the fittest. Whether I like it or yes. That was why in the East, where Obi had his way, he was able to do whatever he did there and won 100% in East. Because so many persons who wanted to vote with their we had the likes of a Labour minister from Anambra State. Don't they have people who will vote?
Yes.
They denied their vote count in Anambra State. So everything was all about Labour Party. So in Nigeria, is the survival of it. If you know where you have the strength, you use it. So it happened.
How about the fight against corruption? What the speaker is prescribing? You think it's just cheap talk?
You remember that Buhari came on the mantra of fighting to fight corruption. And my personal assessment of Buhari administration made me to know that there was more corruption in Buhari administration, more than any other government in this country. I have my records. Beginning from the so-called fuel subsidy that Buhari said was a scam. But Buhari now paid more money in fuel subsidy than any other government. So, if you're talking about this corruption, it's something that we should all breathe in and breathe down and begin to think about how do we tackle this corruption, this so-called corruption. How do we go about it? Because it's like this corruption now is in the gene of almost all Nigerians, including the churches and mosques.
Minus me.
Manos,
me.
Well, I wouldn't speak for you, but you're a Nigerian.
I've spoken for myself.
You're a Nigerian.
I've spoken for myself.
You're a Nigerian.
He said the blood of almost all.
You are tested.
Thank you.
He said almost all.
I said almost all.
I said minus me now.
Because when there is a study in logic where the lawyers here know.
Reasoning from particular to general.
Thank you.
General to particular.
Exactly. Once a president is set and they say Nigerians are thieves and Kele is from Nigeria, you are a thief. So this so-called corruption has deceived us a lot, and people have used it to gain access to power, and at the end of the day, they become more corrupt.
Okay.
So the only thing we need to do now is to begin to see how our National Assembly will make laws that will strengthen our institutions, who will checkmate this corruption by making policies that will not allow you to even near corruption.
Do you think that the speaker would have that kind of will if the members are not cooperating?
The speaker,
at least he's the one that has made the statement now, so he can follow through with action.
he does not have the powers. He does not have the powers. He does not. Forget about it. Talking is cheap. Talk is very, very cheap. So he doesn't have the powers. Let us pray that after all, this administration is less than 1 month old. Let's pray that God should use Tinubu, maybe Senate President, and also the Speaker. Let's see how they are going to make laws that will strengthen institutions. If we don't strengthen our institutions, we are doing nothing about corruption, fighting corruption.
Okay, let me go to Bryce Achoko this morning. The same issue, both of them, side by side. One is Garba Shew's statement. I think it's even necessary that the man talks at this time. Because he says the reason why I've come out is because the party has refused to say something. And the party being insiders, they know the reason why Buhari could not act on subsidy.
My dear brother, I will not believe in that particular opinion that is coming from Garba Shehu, and I have my reasons. You see, it is one thing to win an election, in as much as we are not appraising the outcome of that election. It is one thing to win an election from the real eyes of the people. It is also another thing to declare the results, which is preferred by the what is it called? Let's say INEC, as a matter of fact, of that particular election.
Preferred by
yes. Let's say INEC, being the INEC chairman, for instance, the manners of that particular election, those who conducted it. It is one thing for election results to be won by the electorate, and it is also another thing for the declaration of elections to be made by the persons who carried out the conduct of that election. Now, from the opinion of Garba Shehu, the particular result that was declared, which for me, I think they got and they won by not removing fuel subsidy, is that one that is declared by INEC and not in the eyes of the people. I said this because, yes, I'm coming. They are PDP members, I agree with them. I'm coming.
So you're suggesting that they don't have any goodwill at all.
Even if that particular subsidy,
don't just allow him.
even if that particular subsidy had been removed on the week of election, the conduct or the outcome of that election would have still been in the same way. There were other harsher conditions. Take, for instance, the issue of cash crumb and all that.
Well, the election was already settled before the election.
It was totally settled before the conduct of the election. So even if they have stopped all of us from breathing.
So they knew how an outsider, a newcomer, will perform in the states that he performed the way he performed.
I didn't get your question.
They knew.
Yes.
Since everything was premeditated.
Yes.
They knew how the outsider would perform even before the election in the states that he performed the way he performed.
If you mean the outside, if the outsiders here mean the electorate, then I will understand.
No, the outsider is a candidate that significantly disrupted the system. There's a candidate that disrupted the system significantly.
That is P2B, as a matter of fact.
Of course, yes.
Yes.
So are you saying that they also planned he would disrupt the system the way he disrupted the system?
Was it not glaring that the man was overtly winning?
Overtly winning.
Yes, overtly winning the heart and will of the people. The land of the
Overtly winning.
Overtly winning. That's confusing.
But not overtly winning.
Overtly winning is jumping into conclusion.
It is. See, the point is, those who made their calculations, whether the removal of fuel subsidy, whether the issue of cash crumbs, already knew from the beginning that the result will go the way it went. That is the truth of the matter. They already knew that the conclusion of the result will be in the way and manner it came out. So let us even forget about the issue of removal of subsidy. It is an afterthought. It is coming after the entire process has been concluded. Perhaps he is looking for relevance, just like his friend, his dear friend, as a matter of fact, alluded. And that is the much I can go about it.
But should Garba Shehu not be telling us the effort that they have made in fixing the refineries? Shouldn't that be more important to Nigerians at this time than telling us about removal of subsidy?
Well, I think you would have even referred the question to them. For me, I think it's even more important telling us the effort they even made, why they were empowered, and coming back to remind us.
No, we are PDP members. So
Kelly.
there's no APC members. we are
Kelly, he was. Do you know why I'm even looking at him? You see, I know that he was a candidate in this election. I told him before he printed his poster that he would fail. I told him, please use this thing and help some of your members in the village because you're going to fail. I told him. We are so close.
So how did you know I was going to fail before the conduct of the election?
I know you have a limited popularity.
Look at
no, you have a limited popularity.
This is different. You're taking us into different quarters.
No. Just okay.
Are you saying that he's speaking from the point of bias because he lost the election?
He has been wounded for a very long time. He has been in oxygen, political oxygen. So when I saw him this morning, I said, "Are you coming here?" He said, he's still in Russia. You understand?
So what? I believe that
he has never lost election before.
So
this is his first time.
He's not fit physically and mentally to be outside.
Kelly, Tinubu made us to know that there is a political party known as PDAPC. So my friend was in Accord.
He was with us.
Accord LP. Accord LP.
So let's see if we can conclude on.
Now, you actually have another question for me.
Yes, the second one is the issue of corruption.
Yes. You see, I will make a practical example of my analysis. Yes. I know that my lecturer is here. My then lecturer is here, Dr. CJ Nchimwo.
Not only your lecturer.
Stop claiming him for now. He's my lecturer, and and it's even a good thing that you brought him on a topic like this. You see, while in my undergraduate studies in Faculty of Law at UST, I had entered to study law. There were many lecturers. In parentheses, there were many lecturers who had, through the process, taken us through different courses. Those lecturers were placed on the same, if not the same salary level, they were placed according to their level, which is their year of employment. Some of these lecturers were also, who taught us, let us say, for instance, okay, let me not even mention any course, who taught us in different, or who lectured us in different courses, were at the same salary grade with their contemporaries. Some of the lecturers will come to class and teach you with the belief and hope that some of us could come before you today to man this microphone and speak to the members of the public. They were earning the same salary with the same lecturers or other lecturers, as a matter of fact, who could still come to class and teach you with a mindset that it is your business to pass and appreciate what the lecturer lectures you or not. Their major concern, that is the Part B lecturers, as a matter of fact, were solely what they could get within the period they were either in classroom or they were taking courses assigned or allotted to them as lecturers. I say this because the issue at the front burner is whether the increment of salaries could curb the issue of corruption in Nigeria. And to the best of my knowledge and answer, it cannot. That can never be the solution to the problem.
It cannot.
He is here as my lecturer today, and I am sure that even with the little contribution I have made, he'll be proud of himself that he taught me as a lecturer, and he is standing or sitting there as my lecturer confidently.
Dr. Chiwa, are you proud?
Yes, he is proud of me because he never took.
I'm glad.
Yes,
you're glad.
He never took
pride.
Okay.
You're glad. 1 naira from me as my constitutional law lecturer and my administrative law lecturer.
You agree?
I'm coming.
No, I will respond.
He can make it for me. I know that.
But somebody you agree. You agree.
Agree. He didn't take at all. He didn't take anything.
At the same time, okay.
You
want to take over? At the same time, there were other lecturers
who were killing us,
who even failed us
because
for the purposes of asking them questions and or not being able to feed their pockets with their demands.
And yet they were getting paid.
And they were getting paid. You understand the analysis?
Even more.
Some of them could come to. I think if I bought his textbook, he possibly then could have referred me to any of the bookshops. And he's here. And I'm talking confidently. I recall some few days ago, I met him at the Faculty of Law. I'm doing my PhD there. I saw the excitement, seeing your student you taught. So the same thing is applicable, just like he mentioned, to to virtually all the institutions in this nation. It is not a question of increment of salary. That has never been a problem. I have a law office, for instance, where I take good care of my staff. Whether or not the pay is at the same level with that person who is working in Notice Jokoja chamber. But the disparity there, or the distinguishing factor, is how you understand your relationship with people. The same thing comes here. You can earn #1 million where you are sitting, yet you are, of course, basic economics will tell you that human wants are insatiable. So the same thing is applicable. Nigerians are, just like he said, is in it, except those who have been able to liberate themselves from the shackles of corruption. The man who is a minister, the man who is a former governor, wants to go back as a senator. What is he going to do? Even when you have been unable to offer anything to your constituent or states. So it is not a question. No governor, there is no governor in Nigeria that can be rated below billion.
Otom wanted to go back for Senate.
I don't know. You are mentioning it. There is no governor in Nigeria that can be rated financially below $1 billion. So what are they? And these are persons that could not fix even the smallest roads. Oh, anyways, I met with an uncle day before yesterday, who is a professor. He told me that Nigeria has been buried long ago. That Chinua Achebe was able to capture that in his Things Fall Apart. And then later on proceeded by writing another book, which I cannot remember, before there was a country. So for me, there was in Nigeria. It is not a question of salary. If they increase my salary, if I have the mindset of a corrupt man, I will still be corrupt. Thank you.
So you see, it's actually very fit. It's actually very fit.
No,
that's what you thought. We have to go for the news.
Somebody can be illiterate in English, but an illiterate in English language.
Okay.
So that he's speaking now doesn't mean that he's politically fit.
Okay.
He has been done this for a very long time.
You know you supported me.
I know you supported me
financially and otherwise.
I don't want failure.
I always have a problem of causing trouble. I started. Let me end it. We have to go for the news updates. When we come back, we'll continue. Stay with us.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
A very good morning to you, and thank you for joining us on the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. Strong indications emerged yesterday that Nigeria's former Minister of State for Health, Mohammed Pate, may make the ministerial list of President Bola Tinubu. Tinubu, who was sworn in as Nigeria's 16th president in May, is yet to send a list of his ministers to the National Assembly as required by law. As stipulated by law, Tinubu is expected to forward the list of his preferred cabinet members to the parliament within 60 days of his assumption of office. But almost 1 month after he was sworn in, he is yet to appoint any minister. Yesterday, the Global Vaccine Alliance announced Pate's decision to decline his appointment as its chief executive officer. Pate, who was scheduled to assume office as Gavi CEO on the 3rd of August, informed the organization that he has taken an incredibly difficult decision to accept a request to return and contribute to his home country, Nigeria. Senate President Godswill Akpabio says the federal government will revive moribund industries to provide jobs for unemployed youth in the country. Speaking during his visit to the immediate past senator representing Akwa Ibom Northwest, Chris Ekpenyong, Akpabio assured that the Senate will support the President Bola Tinubu-led administration to resuscitate ailing industries. On his part, Ekpenyong called on the government to ensure that industries like the Ajaokuta Steel Company in Kogi State, Oku Iboku Paper Mill in Akwa Ibom State, among others, are revamped and put into use for national economic growth. The River State Police Command has paraded some notorious fraudsters who specialize in swindling unsuspecting persons of huge amount of money under the promise of giving them fake overseas jobs. The command also paraded some suspected kidnappers, cultists, and armed robbers who terrorized different parts of the state. State Commissioner of Police Wonye Emeka, who briefed newsmen at the command headquarters, advised residents of the state to be aware of the existence of syndicates who go about promising people fake overseas employment. The Commissioner of Police also said his men rescued kidnapped victims and recovered stolen cars from criminals in different parts of the state. On the foreign scene, an audio recording in which Donald Trump appears to acknowledge keeping a classified document after leaving the White House has been obtained by the U.S. media. In the recording, the former president is heard rifling through papers and saying the document is highly confidential. Trump has pleaded not guilty to federal charges of manhandling sensitive files. CNN was the first to publish the roughly 2-minute clip and said it comes from a July 2021 interview that Trump gave with people working on the memoir of his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows. It appears to be an audio recording referenced by federal prosecutors in their indictment of the former president. And that's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. Good morning. Thank you for your time.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
And
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your premium talk radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Did you know that there are over 8 million listeners connected to our frequency, covering 6 states across 2 geopolitical zones? Take advantage of our reach and advertise your products, services, events, and businesses on Today 95.1 FM. Get value for your money as millions of people get to know about your business. Give us a call now on 0818-389-2850. Again, 0818-389-2850.
Every day, we hear reports about counterfeit products, stories of fake drugs, food, expired goods and other consumables being manufactured, imported and sold to unsuspecting members of the public. Findings reveal that Africa records at least 100,000 deaths from fake drugs-related ailments yearly. These fake and substandard products, particularly drugs, have been considered a global threat to human lives. And despite efforts by authorized agencies in Nigeria to combat the menace, the Nigerian market remains flooded with different unwholesome products. This is a plea to all those who manufacture and sell these goods to desist. Stop this menace of counterfeit products. Let's place value on human lives. And should you have purchased a counterfeit product or unsatisfied with the product, please contact SON or Consumer Protection Agency. This message is powered by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Okay, all right.
Such a unique dial.
All right, we thank you for staying with us. We have a guest from African Town joining us this beautiful day. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Kelly. Good morning. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, River State.
All right, for the benefit of those that may be hearing your voice for the first time, please introduce yourself and tell us about African Town Land and Properties.
Okay, I'm comedian PC, the brand ambassador to African Town Properties. African Town is a global city here in River State, Ikure local government, on Magua to be precise. It's a city where we create for Africans, where they can live and enjoy the natural beauty of Africa here in River State, Nigeria. So that is what we are doing. So basically, we have over 2,000 plots of land that we are selling at the moment for very affordable prices. 450,000 a plot of land as against 800,000 naira. So we're on promo promo 450 as against 800,000 naira.
Okay, where is the land located?
Okay, the land is located at Omagwa Ikwere Local Government, Omwiketu Community, Omagwa Ikwere Local Government, here in Rivers State, Nigeria.
Okay, so how long have you been doing this business?
All
and
right.
then we'll get into the promo again.
Okay, we've been doing this business for 4.5 years now. Our head office is at Ibadan, so we decided to bring this good news down to Rivers State. We want to make sure everyone in Rivers State, everyone in Port Harcourt, everyone in Nigeria becomes a landlord or a landlady. You can be a landlord even without owning a building. You know, if you have a land, you're a landlord. If you have a land as a woman, you're a landlady. Start from there first. Then we can move.
So tell us about the promo.
All right, promo for now is 450,000 a plot. If you can go for 6 plots, we will give you one as bonus for free. 450 a plot as against 800,000. You know, I'm making disclosure known to everyone. As against 800,000, very soon we'll go back to the official price that is 800,000 a plot. So we are on promo. A plot from African Town Properties here in River State, Omagwa, is 450,000 naira. Berry, we hand over your deed to you, hand over your land to you. You start building, you pack and enjoying.
How far is it 12 plots? Is it also included?
Yes, if you go for 12, we give you 2. Instantly, we talk and we do.
So if you do 6, you get 1.
If you do 6, you get 1.
If you do 12.
If you do 12, we make it 2.
People on your payment plan, installment plan.
Now, the installment plan, the minimum you can give is 150. 150, then we'll spread it for 3 months.
Okay.
With 150,000, then you're a landlord or a landlady. Just 150.
Let me
we'll
ask
spread it for 3 months.
We had this situation the last time when the promo was, I think,
399,000.
399,000.
That was last week.
And there was a limit to those paying installment. Is there still a limit to those paying installment?
For now, no limit. No limit. As once you pay 150, we hand over receipt to you. Then by the time you are done in 3 months, we hand it over to you. We just want to make sure everyone becomes a landlord.
Would that also include the offer for 6 plots?
Yes.
One free?
No, for the one for the 6 plots, if you come to the office, we will explain better to you.
Okay.
Like I keep telling people, we will not say everything here on radio. Come to the office, you see us one-on-one, we explain better to you so you get more understanding. But definitely, if you want to go for 6 plots and you don't have up to that amount, you want to pay fine. The company will accept.
All right.
And work with you.
Your phone numbers and physical address.
Our office is at number 47 Emmanuel Plaza, Omagwa Junction, Owerri Road. Number 47 Emmanuel Plaza, Omagwa Junction, Owerri Road. Our numbers are 07066743297. Please take note, this is not today's FM phone number. This is African Town phone number. 07066743297 or 07011743262. 07011743262. Then we have the big deal, the new Alaba International Market. You know, we are bringing what they have in Lagos, you know, down to Port Harcourt here in River State. So we are competitive. We are trying, at least for now. We want to make sure that for those of you who want to go to Lagos to get goods and other things, come to Port Harcourt, come to Omagwa. We have the new Alaba International Market. So we have space for lock-up shop, plaza, and mall. Come and get land from us at 450,000. 450. 450. 450. Last one. We give you a plot of land. 450, you become a landlord. You build and you pack in.
What are some of the documents that prospective owners should expect?
Okay, we are giving you deed of conveyance straight and your survey plan. You start building. You're not paying anything, no machine ground, no other hidden charges. The land is yours as once you make payment. Become a landlord straight. So let me call this number once more. 070 66743297 07066743297 or 07011743262
local terminal.
Okay.
You have the international terminal, which has now been renamed from
as the
Obafemi Awolowo.
Okay, either Obafemi Awolowo or Tako International Airport. So the sites from the airport is just 10 minutes drive, but it's trackable from Omagwa Junction to the site.
Okay.
It's trackable. You can see the express road from this site. You can see the express road. The site is not a waterlogged, dry land, portable dry land. Buy, build instantly. You are not feeling anything. Buy and build. It's a buy and build land. So from 10 a.m. every day except Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We'll take you to site for inspection free. You're not paying anything for inspection. We'll take you, we'll fill our car, put AC, you will enjoy AC. If you come to the office, we'll give you malt, you drink, relax. We'll play film for you, watch, enjoy yourself, feel free. We are for everyone.
Okay.
Yes. So
a plot instead of 800 is 450.
Instead of 800,000 for now is 450,000 a plot.
Okay.
450,000 full plot. We are not taking any inch from the plot. It's full plot we are giving to you. Take it and build. Take it and build. It's not for you to build later. Take it and build instantly. You are building instantly. If you want to fence, fine. But you can, like I keep telling people, if you don't want to build, you can buy and resell later and make money.
Okay.
Like imagine those people that bought the time we were selling 399,000 and they want to sell now, they will make 60,000 on each plot.
That's if they sell at the same amount that you're
that
selling.
we are selling now. So you make that much. So very soon when we go to 800,000 and you want to sell yours, more calculate it now. Imagine you.
How long will the current promo last?
I can't tell. We can change it tomorrow. I can't tell. So that is why I keep urging people, if you want to buy now. Start building. Buy now. Buy and save. Buy and save. If you want to resell, fine for you. But I can't tell tomorrow I can come and say, okay, we've decided to review and the new price is 800,000.
All right. Before we go, the phone numbers and physical address.
All right. Our physical address is at number 47 Omagwa Junction. Number 47 Emmanuel Plaza, Omagwa Junction. Then our phone number are 070 66743297 07066743297 or
27th of June 20. So how can renaming some airports in Nigeria bring reform to the aviation industry? Is this a sign of failure? Kenneth Davison Stewart from Opobo Town. Thank you, Kenneth, for reaching out. Kelly, the Tinubu win, yes, as declared by INEC. Let's move on. Hi, Kelly. Good morning, and to everyone, good morning. Okay, you mentioned my name, Ogaima, and my brother, Dr. C.A.J. Chinwo. Yes, I don't have much to say. I just want to say that I've never laughed since yesterday due to what a man faces in this time. But as soon as Barrister Chimenem arrived in the studio, I made his comments. It made me burst into laughter. Chimenem, no man can kill you. In as much as God lives. I thank you for all the educating that you do. Amewule Austin George from Port Harcourt. Thank you for that message. And then let's take another one. Astute Dr. Chinwo is in the studio. I personally missed the analysis, the confession that the last administration of Alhaji Buhari deliberately did not remove the petrol subsidy because of the election and fear of losing it. To me, I think it's preposterous and utterly absurd. Another name for this is ambush governance. So you saw a big problem, you acted cowardly towards solving it, and surreptitiously passed it on to another to solve, and later come back to claim some credit. Shameful. Kachinwell, thank you so much for reaching out. Let's take the next one. Kelly, 2015, it was just APC and PDP. 2019, it was APC and PDP. 2023, it was a serious contest between APC, PDP, and Labour Party. It can never be easy for any aspirant to win with 10 million votes. I support Tinubu. You say Tinubu has goodwill. Roland, okay. Tinubu has goodwill. Renaming of airport at this time is sheer laziness. Mr. President, please be focused to better our lives, not airport. Army renew commitment to combating security. Talk is cheap. Get down to work. People are being killed every day. Tinubu vowed to tackle drug. The same drug he was accused of peddling in the U.S. Can one fight the finger that fed him? Mr. Lucky, thank you for reaching out. I agree with Barry Sachinwo when he said that Nigeria and judges, police, pastors make the best of public speeches to all over the world. But I think he failed to add that Nigerian political analysts who do not have opportunity always seem to know everything until they have the same opportunity. Okay, AKP. People are not reacting tonight. Is there a way I can get the number of NDLEA to report this? All right, let's continue with some of your reactions at this time. Melody from Uniport. Okay. Signed yesterday. Okay. Hi, Kelly. Greetings. Tinubu should have lost if Buhari removed fuel subsidy, or would have lost. Would have, yeah. So we should suffer for it now. Thank God, Ability Atwebu. Well, some of the messages at this time, we let's turn our attention to social media. Okay, let's go to Facebook and take a few more of your comments on the show. We have posts for opinion poll. We have okay, I can only see posts for opinion poll here, so let me just read that one out. Nicholas Erasmus puts it this way. Two stories there, maybe even three. Yeah, three of them actually today on opinion poll. On Garba Show's statement, it's laughable. According to Nicholas Erasmus, the APC and Buhari really set us back many years. Under even Tinubu, there's nothing negative his administration will do for us that will be a surprise. We have seen 99 under APC, so 100 will not swallow us. Oshin Onyek puts it this way. While we talk about the Benue State civil servants and 1 month salary arrears out of 9, let's not forget that war scenario, it's not part of the things we're talking about on opinion polls, sir. Thank you. Comrade James Miracle, you laugh, not in Nigeria. One day I was driving one way from Obirikwe flyover down NTA. A police van that was following the same one way at my front had to stop and park me, collect money from me, and then they continue driving one way. Okay, that's the story of police, the IGP instructing officers to obey traffic rules and regulations. And then Comrade Kenneth Ibianyima puts it this way. The truth is workers need to be paid well. If Nigeria as a nation will stop corruption, Kelly, River State, for example, do you know that primary healthcare workers have been on one particular salary for 16 years? Some joined civil service as single men, got married with children, still on the same salary. Why won't such a person get involved in corrupt activities? I stand with the speaker on this. If today's politicians will pay workers well. All right, let's we're turning our attention to real talk in a moment. Let's continue from here. Odu Osioma puts it this way. Kelly, Nigeria police will never obey traffic light. Is there any of their rules that they have obeyed? Bail is free. Stop collecting money on the roads and many more. Okay. Functional refinery is good, but not a cure to all of this subsidy issue. Crude is bought in dollars. or its equivalent in naira in the case of the upcoming Dangote refinery. So I guess it's not everything for you then. All right. We're switching our attention to Real Talk now, and we have different set of guests in the studio. Let me introduce them. Familiar faces, I must say. And they're not, okay, one is smiling, one is not looking happy. Nonetheless, we'll get into that conversation. We have first Andy Akpotive in the studio. He's a doctor and a society, public affairs analyst, civil society activist. Is there a human rights with you? Okay. You can just whisper.
Everything.
Okay, there's everything. And then we have Mr. Kennedy Friday, who is a politician, and please help me add it.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Kennedy Friday.
Okay.
I'm former secretary of the Ghana LGA, former legislative aide to Senator Magnus Abe.
Okay.
Former supervisor for health, Ghana LGA. Former this, former that. Presently, a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Are you living in Nigeria?
Oh yes,
Or your diaspora?
I'm here.
Okay. Well, welcome, gentlemen. We have a third person. So, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name?
Yeah, my name is Moses Salvation.
Okay.
The State Administrative Secretary of Freedom House.
Okay.
Freedom House is a campaign organization of most Senator Magnus Abe.
All right. So let's get straight to it. There has been calls that Senator Abe described as campaign of calumny aimed at him since the elections that brought into office President Bola Tinubu. And some persons in the other political, they used to be allies. Chief Tony Okocha was a guest yesterday, and some of the things we touched on yesterday, fallout on that is what we're going to speak on now. Some of them had called in yesterday expressing a lot of dissatisfaction with the position which Chief Okocha claims are fact. They are here to set the record straight. And in their own opinion, okay, to set the record straight in their own opinion. So let me go with Mr. Kennedy Friday first. I read a statement which I did yesterday from your principal. Yes. I can say so, yes? Senator Magnus Abe, who says there is no need for all of this. There's really no need for all of this, as he calls it jostling for political office. And just because he's an SDP doesn't or should not suggest that he did not contribute actively to the emergence of Senator Magnus Abe. That is the argument to the contrary that Chief Okocha has made over time. He has not disputed the fact that they've always been friends, they've always been political allies, but to the point that you did not actively work for this man to emerge, why are you now seemingly coming out to want to claim position?
Well, while I was driving into this town yesterday, I had the privilege of listening to a program. And for me, a lot of the things that Tony Okocha was saying, they were very funny to me because he acknowledges clearly that Senator Magnus Abe nominated him into the ICC, that's the Independent Campaign Council of Asiwaju. It's like you, Kelly. Somebody who is your boss nominates you to go and do something, and then you go ahead to claim that you have done that thing, and then you turn around to say that the person who nominated you did not do. What did the person nominate you to go there and do?
Was it to represent him?
No, what did he nominate you to go? He nominated you to go and work, and you said the person who nominated you himself did not work. Did that make any sense? It did not make any sense. Tony was a seed that distinguished Senator Magnus Abe sowed in the Asiwaju system, because we are Asiwaju people. Even before I get there, let me start by saying we carefully selected our political destination with respect to expressing our aspiration for the governorship of Rivers State. We consider a lot of things before, we settled for the SDP. We settled for the SDP because that will not change the entire dynamics that we are working on. Now, this is what I mean. We settled down on SDP because that will allow us to continue to support Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It was very clear. So the only permutation that changed was the local circumstances in Rivers State, which is the governorship. We did not support APC governorship in Rivers State because our principal, distinguished Senator Magnus Abe, was running. But the political choice that we made did not distort our national alliance with Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We continued to support him. We continued to mobilize people for his cause. We continued to even nominate people into strategic structures of his campaign. So how can anybody now turn around to say that the person who did all that and who is the leader of the Asiwaju group in Rivers State till tomorrow did not work? How is that possible? So I think that the positions are not only contradictory, but they, to the large extent, are illogical. To say that somebody nominated you to go and do a work and you say the person did not do. But you are supposed to do the work if you were sincere. Remember also that when Tony Okocha actually demonstrated these tendencies of double dealing, and we felt within the Asiwaju family in Rivers State that he was not representing what actually we wanted him to do, there was a change of guard. In his place, in his stead, somebody else, Kachinwo Okocha, was nominated into the ICC as the chairman of Rivers State. Is anyone disputing that fact? And yesterday, he said that for the fact that the name of Kachinwo Okocha was in the campaign team.
Kachi or Augustine Okocha?
Yeah, we also call
Same
him
person.
Kachi. Yes. Yes. Now, that for the fact that his name was in the campaign setup of SDP in Rivers State, he was therefore not a member of APC. Now, if that is the case, what does the fact that his name was in the Asiwaju political setup as the chairman of the ICC, what did that fact denote? It denoted that he was where? So, if you understand what transpired in the 2023 election, you will see a lot of political crossbreeding.
Absolutely.
It was the year of political crossbreeding. That was the year. You know, people could be in one party and project another interest. Party, yeah. That was why Wike could be in PDP and support APC.
Now, it's interesting that you just mentioned Wike, and part of the controversy is recommendation for him to join the APC. But some persons in the APC are actively saying that, well, we can't even recall a time when the governor actively campaigned openly for President Bola Tinubu, in as much as he's been celebrated today to be the brain behind the votes that the president won in Rivers State, being about the first time the APC can win elections in Rivers State. The contention, from my understanding, is since Senator Magnus Abe moved to the SDP in pursuit of his governorship ambition, it was not seen or heard where he was actively supporting Bola Tinubu at the time of the campaigns for his presidential ambition. That he was solely focused on his governorship ambition. Now, if that's the case, why are you aiming to get something from an administration that you did not actively, while you were campaigning to be governor, okay, while you aiming to benefit from the same person now?
First and foremost, let me state it very clearly that the relationship that exists between Senator Magnus Abe and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is one that transcends politics.
Absolutely.
It predated politics and it will continue to exist even when there is no politics. They are friends as far back. Pictures here can show you. Even when as Magnus Abe was in the UK in the hospital after the incident in the Rivers State College of Arts and Science, you could see Asiwaju went there to be with him. That's number one.
And he said so yesterday.
Yes.
He said he took a bullet for him.
Yes. So that's number one. Number two is that if you look at our choice of political platform to express our aspiration for the governorship in Rivers State, what you saw in Rivers State is not the total picture. We were in Abuja and we discussed, look, everybody knows that I am an Asiwaju supporter. That was what Senator Magnus Abe told the SDP setup. You know that I am a friend of Asiwaju. You know that I am a supporter. I'm taking this ticket to be governorship candidate of your party. That will not affect my support for my friend and my brother. And there was an agreement. Senator Magnus Abe is a man of integrity. He set out everything. He rolled the dice. He did not hide anything from anybody. This is what I'm going to do. For the governorship election in Rivers State, I'm going to fly as the governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party. For the presidential election, Asiwaju is my friend, and therefore I will not do anything that will undermine my support for him. But at the same time, I will not do anything to undermine your party, because you are giving me a platform to express myself. And that's why in this studio, this very, very studio, Annie Abdul Salam, Senator Abe was here, and Annie asked him a question. Distinguished, are we likely going to see you in a poster the same with the presidential candidate of the SDP? And he said no. And he said why? He said because there is an understanding. With that, I will not go further. Now, if you are in the studio that day, or if you follow the program, you will hear it very, very clearly. So we continue to maintain our close relationship. Not only that, Senator Magnus Abe continue to be in the strategy team of the Asiwaju structure. That is the elite force of Asiwaju. While every other campaign institutions and structures had been dissolved, that strategy team continues to exist till tomorrow.
Okay,
they
so
continue to meet.
So on the basis of the strong relationship he has with the president,
yes,
he's still very relevant, no doubt about it.
He is a supporter of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
But because
an elite supporter for that matter.
But because of one moment, sir. But because of the agreement he had with his party, it sort of constrained him from publicly campaigning for
because
Asiwaju.
We already had every structure on ground. For instance, if you talk about the Bat Vanguard that we asked Tony Okocha to lead in the state, tell him.
Tony Okocha was asked to lead the Bat Vanguard.
Of course, we asked him to lead the Bat Vanguard. This is the admin secretary of Freedom House, and he can show you exchanges here. Okay. But that is not even the point. The point is that who were the coordinators of Bat Vanguard in all the 23 LGAs of Rivers State? They were all Magnus people. He did not have anybody. The people he had are the Magnus people. They were all the Magnus people. For instance, in Opopo Nkoro, Bete Ogolo, Emmanuel Bete Ogolo was the coordinator of Bat Vanguard. He was also the publicity secretary in all other LGAs.
And
people
also double as our campaign chairman.
Exactly, and our campaign chairman.
SDP campaign
he was also the
Opopo.
SDP campaign chairman. At the same time, there was no problem with that.
Was it still
many times channels arise with Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and the fact that he bring experiences that Nigeria as a whole need at this particular time. He continued to talk in a way that promoted the candidature and the aspiration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Again, there is nothing as effective as outdoor advertisement. Everywhere in Port Harcourt, you could still see his banners and his poster with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And that is why you see that the presidential candidate of the SDP did not come to Rivers State for one day, because this thing already had been pre-agreed.
Sorry. You just said we had banners.
Yes.
Of Asiwaju and Magnus Abe.
Exactly.
Yes. And you also said that in this same studio with Annie Abdul Salam, when he was asked if he would ever be in a banner or a flyer with Asiwaju.
No, he said he would never be in one flyer with the presidential candidate of SDP. That's what I said.
SDP.
That's what I said.
He will never be in the same flyer.
Yes. So Annie asked, are we ever going to see you in the same banner with the presidential candidate of SDP? Said, no. I think you were in the studio then. And he said you were, your colleague was in the studio then, and he said, no, you will not see that.
So if that's the case, one can still say that in as much as Senator Magnus Abe supported overtly, right, Tinubu as a candidate for president, he never actively, openly.
What do you mean active? What do you mean actively, openly?
While he was a candidate,
what do you mean actively, openly?
Kennedy Friday, because that is the argument that Okocha keeps pushing.
No, that was not the argument. You know, he had maintained yesterday that the past governor of Rivers State, that's the person of Barrister Nyesom Wike, supported Asiwaju overtly. He did not mention it, but he did certain things. Yes, subterraneously. That was what he did.
So there were subterranean moves.
Yes, moves. So and you recall that I even called in on the station to say, now if you said so, what gives you the gumption or the authority to say the same Senator Magnus Nge Abe did not also support that move subterraneanly? Why do you say so? Because the former governor of Rivers State never said for one day that I am supporting Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He never said for one day that I was doing that. But
he suggested it in many ways.
No, he kept on. It was suggestive of it, yes. But he did not come out to say.
Was it suggested?
Yes, of it. And everybody also knew. Let me paint a picture for you.
People had a feeling.
Prince Adewale, the presidential candidate of the SDP. I am in a one-on-one conversation with him, right? I was in Abuja when he reached out to me. Even Kennedy is not aware of this story that I'm telling now. When he reached out to me and said, go to Port Harcourt and see how you can help establish office, set up a campaign, whatever. Prince himself, Adewale, we came into Port Harcourt, right? But he said to me, one-on-one, I still have it on my chart, that you see what I am getting from your guy, because he knew that I was supporting, Senator Magnus Abe. What I'm getting from him is that I am not seeing that he's going to come out boldly to say that he wants to. Even Prince Adewale was aware of that. And that's what Kennedy just said to you, that there were certain arrangements there that are taking place, even from Abuja. And this was how dynamic the election was in 2023, because even the gubernatorial candidate of APC did not support clearly everywhere Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The gubernatorial candidate of PDP in Rivers State did not support clearly Atiku Abubakar.
Well,
so what is the thing that we are talking about that is not concerns and everyone
we have to allow them speak for themselves.
No, but it was obvious now.
Because right now, the contention is not whether Sim supported Atiku Abubakar or he supported Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. That's not the contention.
What is the contention?
The contention is not also whether or not the candidate of another political party. The contention is someone says that, hey, you couldn't have, while you were a candidate of the SDP, worked for your ambition without actively or perhaps underground working for Tinubu to emerge as a governor, the president of Nigeria, I beg your pardon, as the president of Nigeria, and now that the elections are won, you expect to come and benefit from the same system.
Excuse me,
can I just ask the question?
Okay.
Can I ask the question?
Okay.
So, if he makes that claim, we've looked at another person in the person of the former governor, who by his statement, it was already very clear that this was the direction he was heading. His association suggested that he was headed that way. But he didn't also make an outright categorical statement to say, this is the person I'm supporting, up until I even saw a message on the morning of the election to say, this is the direction we're going. I saw that message. I said, oh, so finally the message has come. What stopped your principal in these years of relationship, both political and personal, with Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, to, in some of those public appearances, those campaign grounds, make suggestion to say, if not for anything, this is the man you should be looking at for president? Wasn't it important to nudge his supporters, not those that were in the kitchen cabinet, his supporters in the open during the campaigns, to say, that is the man you should vote for?
Kelly, everybody in Rivers State and in Nigeria knew and still know that Senator Magnus Nge Abe is an elite supporter with class of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I remember vividly after the presidential primary, when arrangements for Magnus Abe to go to the SDP, to actualize his aspiration to vie for governorship, was on. Already it was on, it has reached advanced stage, but it has not been announced. He went to Beira and said it publicly. The video is here, I can play it, that Asiwaju is the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He said it clearly. That time you could see even Tony, the character we're talking about. Tony was there. He was there with him. The video is here. That Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the one who understands the situation Nigeria is at the moment.
Was he a candidate? Was he a candidate of the SDP then?
I just told you that every arrangement, to go to the SDP to actualize his aspiration has already been put in place.
Was he a candidate of the SDP then? Was he a candidate of the SDP then?
He was not a candidate because it has not been announced.
As at the time he became a candidate. As at the time he became a candidate. From that time till the election. That's the question.
No, hold on, I'm coming.
I just wanted to make him understand.
Was it suggested?
I can answer that with facts. First, I was the secretary of the campaign council, the administrative secretary, and I can share with you here for free what actually transpired. Tony was one of our leaders. First, on the 4th of January this year, Tony forwarded his account details from GTB Bank with number 0157403063, named Anthony C. Okocha, to me, because I also disbursed the funds for our LGA activities, especially for Asiwaju, also as our SDP APC coordinator in Obiakpo local government.
Exactly.
So all the funds for bad this, bad that in River State was sent to Tony from me.
From you?
From me, Moses Salvation.
You understood why I said what I said. I was asking that question.
But he never joined. But he never officially joined the SDP.
Nobody officially joined SDP. We moved into SDP to contest election, and Tony was part and parcel of that arrangement. Now,
so
outside,
so none of you are card-carrying members of the SDP.
Yes, we are not. We are not.
But your principal was a card-carrying member of the SDP.
I'm coming
for,
yes,
for his ambition.
Yes, for his ambition. Now, in Kana local government, the LGA coordinator of Bad Vanguard was Ambassador Vincent Bose, who also doubled as our youth campaign director of SDP in Kana.
Okay.
He works directly with Tony. In Opopon Koro, just like he has earlier said, it's better Ogolo. In Oyibo, our campaign director in Oyibo was Chijike Wankwo. He was also the director of Bad Vanguard in Oyibo local government. And he was also the SDP SDP campaign director in Oyibo local government. In Gokana, the local government of our principal, most distinguished Senator Mangusabe, was Dr. Badon Felix. He also worked as our campaign secretary of Gokana local government, but was also the BAT Vanguard coordinator in Gokana local government. I can go on and on. Now, Tony, I heard he was here with a list yesterday, which I was invited to come and exchange some ideas with him in the studio.
But
because it's actually disheartening to hear that boy come here to spew that level of lies.
I think it's disrespecting to call him a boy.
Yeah, it's a boy to Magnus.
It's not disrespected. Sorry, sir. Excuse me, sir. You're not Magnus, Abi.
Of course. I'm his prince. I'm his aide.
You are not Magnus.
I'm his aide.
Sorry, sir.
I'm his aide.
I think it's necessary. If we want this to disintegrate into mudslinging and all of those things, it has not got to that level yet. So if you want to refer to a man who is a chief in his community as a boy, that is not proper. That's not important.
It will not get to that level.
I think it's necessary for it to be withdrawn. I think it's necessary for it to be withdrawn. Can he withdraw it?
I withdraw it. Now let me say this. Tony as a person was not the sole deliverer of Asiwaju's successes in River State.
Well, he has never said so.
No, that was his claim yesterday.
No, he has never said so.
He has always given.
I'm coming. He has always given credit to Yeson Wike for leading that charge.
What did Yeson Wike do?
But he has
that
always
Magnus did not do. What has he told you what Yeson Wike actually did that Magnus did not do? Number one, Magnus, while campaigning as SDP governorship candidate, nominated Tony. He did not nominate Tony while in APC. He nominated Tony when he was already working and campaigning as SDP governorship candidate into PCC and ICC. He nominated Kachi Augustine Nwokocha while running around as governorship candidate of SDP as ICC coordinator of Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaign in River State. He nominated Madam Mary Alagwa. He nominated Honorable Prince Maurice Pronem. He nominated Martin Babari.
So sorry. I will allow you continue, but I just wanted to underscore something. So the law of agency allows that the principal can be somewhere, and his agent is functioning for him. But you have heard that he already nominated certain persons who acted in that capacity of agents. If the agent took any decision, it was binding on the principal. The principal nominates the agent. It is the law of agency.
He get directed. He did not just nominate. He get directed on what to do.
Can the agent go rogue?
No, certainly. But if the agent goes, the point I'm making is that the agent cannot of his own say that the decisions that are taken, the empowerment that he got to take decision came from him suo motu. No, his authority is derived from the principal.
So can the agent go rogue and get sponsorship from another principal?
The agent can go rogue, and when this particular agent went rogue, that was why he was derobed of the honor that was conferred on him, and another person was brought in his stead. That's Kachinwo Kocha. Is that fact under any kind of dispute?
Because
it is not.
From what he said yesterday, there are questions there, but
there
these
is
are
no
things.
Question.
These are issues.
No. As Tony told you, his position in the campaign council. What was his position?
One moment. These are issues that, if he wants to respond to, he would choose to respond to it. But I'd like to ask you again, like he said, the agent and the principal. If, an instance, the agent decides to go rogue, and he gets another principal, the principal will say, "Hey, this is what we're pursuing. We need you in the same boat to get it done." And he says, "We achieved that assignment." This new principal may not have come out openly to say this is the man for the job, but he suggested it in his dance, his body language, even in trying to pull down his own political party. Hold on, please, Andy. He even in attempt to pull down his own political party, he did all of those gesticulation, all of the activity, and was pushing this, in quotes, rogue agent to go about the business of it. And yet the one that had such a good relationship that started the assignment was doing principle. The election is won. It wasn't seen like the other one was dancing, pulling down, and making statements that you in your gentleman nature suggested, "Hey, my people, this is who, caught on camera, this is the person. Whatever you're doing, don't forget the cap, the ring, and whatever it is." That is the argument
Kelly,
he has been making.
Let me tell you, we have internal systems that are very robust.
Okay.
Very robust. Senator Magnus Abe is not a rookie politician. He's a seasoned politician. He has been in this state for long. And when people talk about him with disrespect, like Tony Okocha did yesterday, I feel that it is unfair. And he does not show the things that Tony Okocha say, which is what we are emphasizing to my friend, salvation, does not show any example to our young politician. Now, what is the problem? The election has been won and lost as declared by INEC. The outcome of the election is being contested
in court
by those who are dissatisfied. So what is the problem? What is the problem?
Like me.
Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of Nigeria. He is the person that by law, is empowered to decide who will work with him as what. That is his own prerogative.
Absolutely.
Nobody can take it away from him.
So you think that's what all this fracas is about?
Of course. That is
mudslug, slinging,
the truth is that why Tony Okocha was taking directives from Senator Magnus Abe, he was also double dealing. And of course, he had, in quotes, a checkered history of double dealing. I can go on and on, but I don't want to be personal.
I have facts.
I don't want to be personal.
I have facts here.
He was double dealing. He was double dealing. You could relate that even all our SDP meetings were held in his house. It was held in his house. I can show you a picture here of Senator Magnus Abe and this same man. They are together. Senator Magnus Abe is in SDP cap. We were together. We have attended many functions at our base in Freedom House where he was present and he will be introduced. The understanding was that we are going into the SDP.
But
you
we are
here and they coordinate for us. Now, if he decides to double D like he did, that is within his right. I do not begrudge him.
Okay.
But the fundamental remains that when you come to River State and you talk of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, everybody knows, even during the election when we were campaigning, some of the people that we were trying to say, look, come and work with us. Hey, no, we are not going to work with you. If you are see what you people.
For instance,
you
understand? Not this. Tony was not the campaign director of Asiwaju in River State.
He was not.
He was a member of PCC. His Excellency Pastor Tonyeko was the state coordinator of Tonyeko campaign organization. Presidential Tinubu PCC in River State. Why Honorable Kachi Augustine Wokocha was the state coordinator of the Independent Campaign Council.
Okay, so
Tony was just a member, but he coordinated the Bad Vanguard, which was among the many NGOs that supported Asiwaju.
Yes.
So for him to come out that he would yesterday I heard him say that he was the one who would the G5 governors to come and support Asiwaju. That was a lie. And who is to be very honest with you, Kelly? Asiwaju does not know who Tony is.
He does not.
He doesn't know him.
He does not.
If Asiwaju sees Tony, he does not even know him.
He doesn't know him. Now, if you go to Abuja, where we are doing the Asiwaju thing, and they mention Tobago, they say, who is Tony?
Who is Tony? Nobody knows him.
So what he does is to come to River State and constitute supposedly should not be so. I don't want to use a very damning language and derogatory language because that's not in my nature. But suffice to say that it is the president who has the prerogative to decide who he will appoint. It is not in the place of Tony or any other person for that matter to decide how the president exercised that prerogative. And that is why I found it very distasteful that he was here. That Asiwaju will not do this, Asiwaju will not do that. He is not the spokesperson of Asiwaju.
Okay.
He is not
one of his numerous press releases.
Part of
he even claimed that he will be appointed the MD of NDC.
He is not.
He said so. In one of his numerous.
Now there's one thing I want to say, which Rivers people should take note of. Now I am bound by facts when I speak. The same day that Tony Okocha was in Port Harcourt here with a coterie of boys and girls, small boys and girls, saying that they were calling on Wike to come to APC and whatever belonged to River State from the central government should be given to Wike. That same day, he sponsored a motley of group to Abuja and they were in the APC secretariat. And what were they canvassing? That Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu should appoint Tony himself as the minister from River State. But at the same day he was in Port Harcourt saying that whatever Asiwaju is bringing to River State, he should give it to Wike. Now, let me tell you, former Governor Wike is a seasoned politician. He knows what Tony Okocha is doing. He knows that he has never been faithful. He knows that he has no fidelity to friendship. He knows that he has no fidelity to truth. And I know that the former governor will also be careful of him.
Okay.
Go and verify this fact. That same day that he was saying, come, anything that you are giving to Rivers, they give it to Wike. One group sponsored by him was in the state national secretary to say that it was Tony that worked. Anything that you are giving, give him minister.
Okay.
Why double D to that extent?
All right. So
why should you be known? Why should you be known as a serial
will you classify that?
Let me.
Wike knows that he cannot even trust the Tony Okocha we are talking about. He knows.
Okay. So documents that I saw sent to me by Chief Tony Okocha from the APC. Named him as the chairman of protocol committee, Tinubu Grassroots Independent Campaign Council, a member of the PCC.
Yes.
Right? A member of the PCC.
Yes.
You just said he was never the chairman of the campaign,
he was
ICC.
not chairman. That is a subcommittee now.
Chairman, protocol committee, Tinubu. So he was in the PCC.
Yes,
right?
I said so. I was a member of the PCC.
Because you had said that at some point, Magnus Abe removed that position from him.
He was buyed, to be the chairman of the
state ICC.
But when we saw that this man was double dealing, he was hunting for information and doing information trafficking for monetary benefits.
Okay.
When we saw that, Magnus Abe said, okay, Katiwo Kocha, you go and be ICC chairman. And it was published. It's on the paper.
So if Senator Magnus Abe, no, not if, as experienced as the distinguished senator is, you suspected that your agent may be going rogue by his actions. You have the influence. Because some APC members have even said to me, we wonder how he got into that presidential committee. Even as a member of the convention planning committee, how he got in there, they wondered how it happened. But nonetheless, with the connect and the relationship we has with Tinubu, Magnus Abe could have easily said, well, remove this man from there.
No, he's not a vindictive character. He's not a vindictive person. You need to be close to him to understand.
So if that
Magnus does not play
Magnus can be. Is he surprised at what is happening now?
No. He may not be surprised because he understands human nature.
So what is his call now? What is the call of Senator Abe now?
His call is what you read in that statement. That there is no need. If you are looking for something, you go and look for it. Let me tell you, Chief Ndukwe, let me tell you, I'm a young Rivers man, and I feel pained when I see the level of muslinging that people are involving themselves in, especially in Rivers State. There is no other state where people are going to radio, casting aspersion, casting abuses on one another. Tony Okocha is not in control of what will happen in Abuja. It is not. So why the quarrel? So if you are looking for something, you look for it. Everybody.
No, it's all right. Yes, it's all right to look. It's all right to lobby.
Look for it.
It's all right to lobby. But whilst you are lobbying, be sure not to cast aspersion on somebody else. That's the
essentially your benefactor. Somebody that has been your benefactor who has helped you. I don't want to go personal, but every day that I see the picture of when Tony Okocha was not okay and we were running around him with Senator Abe and the wife was saying, oh, if not for Senator Abe, if not for I feel bad. I think whatever we are doing today, we should remember that there was a yesterday and there will be a tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And it's also good to set it on public records like he did yesterday. He never disputed or dispelled the fact that Senator Abe was there for him at certain times.
Yeah, but he was always there. He was talking about it very disrespectfully. When I came to this station,
one moment,
I have not been able to even be disrespectful to Tony.
Friday, one moment.
He can't do that. When some of us are here,
the same way he was speaking, and some of you had opportunity to call in, and express, He tried to answer the questions.
No, but he did not answer the one I asked. Because the question I asked, he did not answer it. He was intentional about it because...
No. Hold on, please. I anchored these bits.
Okay.
So there has to be order in these bits. It's imperative that there's order in these bits. Kingsley called in yesterday, and rather than stay on the substance, was about to abuse the man. I kept calling on Kingsley. Calm down. What is your point? He was angry.
No, that's not the point. That was not.
You
that's
called
not the area
Kingsley.
I'm coming.
Hold on. Okay. Please hold on, sir. The issue now is your principal is saying there is no need for all of this drama. Tony says, hey, if you did not work actively for this man because you had an ambition, don't come out now. The person that has the final say in all of this, like you have all agreed, is who? Asiwaju Bola Tinubu.
Yes.
But you're also upset with the fact that this spells a negative narrative as to the attitude of politicians in the state. Because if this one favors you, you shift to this person. If that one favors you, you shift to that person. It sets the wrong mood. Yeah? You have brought out your facts to say, Tony benefited from this man significantly. It saddens you that he's doing what he's doing. But I thought they said that's politics.
Now, let me tell you. I don't think anybody is obsessed or even angry with the fact that people can do political Maradona. Nobody is talking about that. Nobody is concerned about that.
Okay.
Senator Magnus Abe is a very, very intelligent person and is also very fantastically educated. He is a lawyer. He knows that there is something called the freedom of association. And he has never ever, have you ever seen Senator Magnus Abe trading words with people unnecessarily because they left him. No,
Never.
he continues to maintain cordial relationship with everyone. We were in Gokana for a burial just on Saturday, and somebody that was working closely with him who left for another political interest. The person they saw, they hugged, they were talking, they were holding hands. That is Senator Magnus Ngei Abe for you. What we are all saying and what we should be concerned about as young Rivers people is this penchant for people to pull others down. You are working with this person today, you are pulling him down, you are abusing him, you are insulting him. Can we please eliminate that kind of dirty aspect of our politics and stay on the substance?
Let me add very quickly.
Gentlemen, hold on, please. Let me ask this question. You see, I have listened to you. As a matter of fact, it's just one single question, and all these things have taken us to this end of time. See, what I want to ask is this. You are, all of you, your assessment of this particular system, strategy. I heard Friday said that you have internal, maybe, mechanism or system that leads you people. Good. What I want to ask is, Tony here said that their system that Nelson Wike in particular used was covert.
Subterranean.
Good. Of course, subterranean or covert is the same underground.
Then I asked
no,
the
hold on, Andy. Hold on, I heard everything. I was here. Now you called it and said, is it not similar? In other words, was Senator Magnus Abe's own
not using the same strategy?
Yes.
Thank you.
How do you then say that Senator Magnus Abe did not use the same strategy with such gusto?
Hold on. I know where I'm going to. Now the question is this. Your assessment of this particular covert system of fighting for Tinubu, because it's not today I know that Senator Abe and Tinubu started. Emmanuel Ndukweso. But how do you assess this? Has it done good or bad to the whole thing? Because if Senator Abe were able to tell some people overtly that I'm rooting for this, the way he was asked in this studio about support for SDP presidential candidate, and he said no, he was not going to be with him, but he was in APC, rather in SDP for his own ambition. Good. Now, in your assessment, do you think that it has taken, for instance, even if we limit it to Rivers State, on a good pedestal or a bad one, reason being that because he did it covertly. Did we also, there are murmurings around the one of Nyesom Wike. That is why we are here. Tony wouldn't have disputed this if Senator Abe has made it overtly. And people that are disputing Wike's help to Tinubu also wouldn't have done that. This covert system of helping Tinubu, has it taken us to a good way?
Well, thank you very much. I think I'm going to answer you.
Go ahead.
But before I answer you, please give me the opportunity to respond to something that Tony Okocha said yesterday, which is related to this. So I take care of that, then I answer your question. Which is? Now, he said that Senator Abe appeared on national television and said that when the strategy team met and analyzed situations, they said that Asiwaju was not going to get up to 25%. And I quote, is that the strategy team, they carry out prognosis. And prognosis are carried out based on current reality. That is why when wise people talk, especially in economics, they don't forget to apply the word ceteris paribus if everything remains the same. What he said was that the strategy team looked at Rivers State, evaluated the situation and said, we are pegging Asiwaju's victory, or rather Asiwaju's vote, at 25%, which is the constitutional requirement. That is what counts constitutionally, because there is certain number of states that you must get 25% before you are declared winner, even if you poll the overall number. So that was what Senator Abe said.
So the analysis did not believe that he was going to win Rivers State outright.
Yeah, they did not believe. Okay. And Senator Abe said, however, that permutation was changed with the entrance of Wike saying that okay, we are fighting in PDP, southeast. But in any case,
apparently they have done that because Wike was also running for presidential
exactly at the time. So now,
so in that case, Tony may be correct to say that Wike was very instrumental to the emergence of
nobody is disputing that. No, even
I don't
Senator
think that
Abe
is disputed.
Nobody is disputing that.
Even Senator Abe said,
acknowledge
the fact that when there was katakata in the PDP, when they say okay, south, the thing changed that permutation. As at that time, that dynamics that was available to members of the Asiwaju strategy team was not there.
All right.
And so it's honest enough. So, now going to your question,
make it
I think that this is a moot point. It is a moot point because even as a candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Senator Abe not only continued to be a member of Asiwaju strategy team, but continued to attend meetings.
So he was overtly working.
He was working for Asiwaju. That is his man. He did not hide it at any time.
The question is.
He did not hide it at any time.
If you permit me to paraphrase, the question is, that system, is it helping us?
It does help us. It does help us because it is a system that is versed in reality. It is a system that is versed because everybody knew in this state and in this country the people that could likely emerge as the president of this country. And Senator Magnus Abe is not a rookie politician. He will not just go and join the bandwagon. Right. He knew and he said from the beginning. Now he said it on the ground of the convention. He said it when he came to the state. He said it when in another occasion that Asiwaju is the next president. He knew who will win. So based on the calculations he made, he did not hide his mouth.
So let's begin to coast home. Let's you've tried to mention some things about Chief Okocha in disputing some of the claims that he made here, all right? Yeah. But if Asiwaju were to pick a leader for himself in River State, between Senator Magnus Abe and Wike, based on performance, who should he pick?
Well, if Asiwaju were to pick a leader, that is Asiwaju's
prerogative. Only do you expect us to say but it is prerogative. Whoever he wants to pick, and it will be fine with Magnus Abe.
Okay, so whatever Tinubu, whoever he picks will be fine with Senator Magnus Abe. And if that person appears to be Tony, the former governor.
Let me tell you.
No, because even Tony, you have now said he's making other moves to see how we can.
He has actually told people that he will be the Niger Delta minister.
He said he was going to be the MD of the NDC.
And it's a lot of things. He's telling people it's out there. And at the same time, he will call camera and say, "Oh, Asiwaju, anything you have for River State, give it to Wike." At the same time, you will sponsor people to Abuja. And anything you are giving to people in River State, give it to Tony Okocha.
All right, we have to.
Allegation.
My brother, let me say this.
It's their word. We don't have confirmation. Let me say this.
I'll show you. Go it.
I don't need to Google political things to be aware. Not Kelly. I don't need to.
Before Senator Magnus Abe emerged as the governorship candidate of SDP, everybody in this country knows that Magnus Abe was supporting Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He was openly campaigning and he inaugurated Bad Vanguard in almost all the areas in River State.
This is hasty generalization that everybody.
Because he was on channels, he was open. He was not supporting
everybody. You didn't you know?
I'm a journalist who has
no politics. Your colleague who is also a journalist said that he knew that
you cannot say everybody.
My brother.
No.
Anyway, the point is that let Rivers politicians who are jostling for one thing or the other
concentrate on that
down.
All right.
Because everything they do, they should remember that young people are watching them, and they are setting a bad example as to the way they go about these things.
All right.
It is Asiwaju who we appoint. When the time comes, he will appoint.
All right.
It is not anybody that we appoint.
Okay.
So if Tony Okocha is interested in something, he should go and look for it, prepare a CV and then go and look for it. The other day, he said that Senator Abe was taking CVs from people and he was now rattled. Now he claims that he is the leader of APC in River State. Let him also go and collect the CVs from his own followers and send. It's a free word.
And they want to ask, we have to go quickly.
Distinguished Senator Magnus Abe, like we have repeatedly said in this studio, is a very seasoned politician. He understands who to use to play his left, who to use to play his right. Like Jesus in the Bible. Once upon a time, he said on Peter, the church was going to be formed. On this rock, the church will be built. But in that same breath, minutes later, he rebuked Peter. What happened eventually was that Peter became indeed a rock in the body of Christ. Senator Magnus Abbey understands politics and understands it very well. We have not come here to say, that Senator Magnus Abbey is going to or is quarreling with anybody. No, he's not. He understands that even this same chief that we are talking about that came here, eventually, like Peter, who denied Jesus 3 times, can become very foundational, in establishing the things of Christ. He understands that, and this is what he has demonstrated. Right. One politician in Rivers State that you can say that indeed remained to a cause that is peaceful, remained to a cause that is cerebral, remained to a cause that is people-centered, is Senator Inge Magnus Abbey.
Let me say, we're sadly out of time. Sadly, we're out of time. Let me first say thank you to Mr. Kennedy Friday.
Thank you very much.
With all the former titles that you have, thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for being here. It's actually here. Don't mind me. My mind is just
I also worked as the state collation agent of SDP.
All right.
On the day of our presidential election, I was not there at the state collation center to dispute anything because we were working for us.
Moses Salvation, thank you for being here. And then Andy Akpotive, thinker, author, social reformer, thank you also.
Thank you so much. We thought we are going to even have conversations with people so that we can help dispel a few things. Let us hear what they want to say and quickly, address.
There are many means to do that. Mm-hmm. So it's not like if this one doesn't happen now, other means are closed.
No, but would we be here to
how these things
answer
work?
some of these things?
How these things work?
No, definitely.
All right, but the other guests will join us, and then we'll look at some of the issues on newspaper review on today's Quest 95.1 FM. I'm Kelly Kimejima. Stay. We're not done yet.
That there are over 8 million listeners connected to our frequency, covering 6 states across 2 geopolitical zones. Take advantage of our reach and advertise your products, services, events, and businesses on Today95.1 FM. Get value for your money as millions of people get to know about your business. Give us a call now on 0818-389-2850. Again, 0818-389-2850.
Some people will carry human head in their boots and they will not charge them because they are collecting bribe.
When they go collect salary, then go say government need to pay them way. All these taxi drivers safe. They don't even get papers. Even driver's license safe, they no get.
You back there. Hold on there.
Their cars are in bad shape, very, very bad shape. They have no ethics of driving. That is why they will continue to bribe so that they can have their way.
I will shoot you down. I will shoot you. Headlight, you no get. Side mirror, you no get. Motorway to carry animal. Now you take put for road to carry human being. You don't even wind the motor when rain they fall. You no get conscience at all. Jake, you be number 15. You be number 5. More than enough them number.
Let's allow them do their job.
Do not obstruct justice by giving or taking bribe. Avail yourself a check. Even you, Oga driver, stop reckless driving and always update your papers. This information
is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
Voice of the people.
Officer, give me change. Now 1,000 I give you.
Okay, all right. All you need to know about this one is that
95.1 FM. Such a unique dial.
All right. Thank you for staying put. It's still the newspaper review segment. Today's Quest on 95.1 Today FM. Just had some guests speak on political disputes in Rivers State to set their own side of the record straight on some of the comments made by Chief Tony Okocha, who was our special guest yesterday. So let me take some of your reactions now. Okay. I'm not sure this message is for me, so let's leave it. All right. Concerning the argument of your guests, Kennedy and Andy, the latter is still giving me chills of surprise, considering his detrimental stance to the Tinubu campaign. Now there is a Tinubu family. Magnus and his boys are desperately need an appointment, but must be tested and tried with temporal disappointment. I don't even know what you're saying. AKP, thank you for reaching out. This is the best time to be a Chibike Rotimi Amechi man. Magnus Abe recruited Tony Okocha and others to deride Amechi, but today the Tower of Babel has set in their midst. God is God and not a man. In order to fight Amechi, every type of rainbow coalition took place. The likes of Tinubu, Wike, Abe, Okocha, and the others. But now Wike, Abe, and Okocha are arguing about who campaigned more. What a shame. Up Amechi, Mr. Webb. All right, that's your reaction. Hi, good morning. Akondu from Omagua. What comes around goes around. Okay, what Abe did to Amechi is befalling him. And as for Tony Okocha, he should continue with that selfish and overzealous style of politics. But Amechi is watching. He say thanks. All right, thank you for reaching out. Good morning, Kelly, and good morning to everyone in the studio. Brown texting from Ogunabali. So all this talking in all the radio stations are all about what to get from Tinubu. She says shame to all of you. At you people's age, careful. All right, let's leave that and move on. Take some more reactions this morning. Good morning, all. Emeka from Kelga. We know the candidates that Andy Akpotive supported, and he wasn't shy to say it. He just said it clearly that the campaign against Magnus Abe, his principle, is not something that he welcomes. Okay? So let's move on from there. What I saw this morning in your studio is fireback between Magnus Abe and Tony Okocha. Magnus Abe cannot be in SDP and at the same time in APC. Magnus Abe should tell us his fellows where he belongs. Thank God ability at Tuebu. All right, those are some of the messages at this time. Okay, those are some of the messages at this time. Let me go back to Facebook, and then we open the phone line so we can welcome some of your contributions on the show. Okay. 0817-000951, 0810-9510-951. You have the number for messages. Again, 0817-000951, 0810-9510-951. Those are the numbers to call to contribute to the stories that you have heard. Not just one, the stories you have heard today on our review of the papers. All right. Today95.1 FM. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning to everyone in the studio. I'm calling because I listened to that interview between Annie and Senator Magnus Abe.
What's your name, please?
My name is A.B.
Okay.
I listened to that interview, and I clearly heard him when Annie asked him if he was supporting President Tinubu. He stated it clearly. He stated that yes, that President Tinubu and him, they've been friends for a long time, and he trusts him as a good president. And I wanted to say something. Secondly, the political landscape in Nigeria has changed. It has evolved. This is the first time we're seeing politicians in one party supporting others in another party. So the political landscape is a new terrain for all of them. So for me, if he had publicly campaigned for President Tinubu, it would have been disrespectful to the SDP presidential candidate. The way he did it is okay. It was graceful. They're all learning. So let's not be so hard on him. After all, former Governor Wike also did not openly campaign for Tinubu. It was close to Saturday we heard that it was now Tinubu they were voting for. They kept on saying he would name his candidate, he would name his candidate. So let's not be too hard on him. The way he went about it, I think he was diplomatic. That's my opinion.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much for sharing with us your candid opinion. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Kelly, Chief Ndukwe and the guest in the studio.
Hi, Sam. Welcome.
Yeah, a blessed morning to you, Mr. Kelly and all. Mr. Kelly, you see, it is only here in Rivers State that the campaign to elect president. After electing president, they will still be doing campaign who will be the president favorite and who you should give appointment or what have you. But you see, there is a saying that the evil men do live before them, not after them again. This man, I don't want to talk about the rebellious aspect of it, but they betrayed their master, the Lion of Safsat, Right Honorable Chibi Amechi, and they all now, they are now betraying themselves within the party. But if we are to look at party constitution, all these men, they are not even qualified to be APC member because they are involved in anti-party activities. This one, Tony Okocha and his group working for PDP stroke Ahmed Tinubu, Magnus Abe and his group working for AD Abi stroke Tinubu. And these people are now coming back to claim that they are the original members of the APC. And within them, they are not even aligning together. I don't know, and if they go to court now to sanction these men for anti-party activity, these people will be the ones that will win case. I don't know what our judiciary is doing.
Okay, leave the judiciary now, Sam. Why are you dragging the judiciary into this matter now? What did they do to you?
Because if they go to court now, if they are to follow the party constitution to the latter, these people should have been expelled from the party for anti-party
but they refuse to expel them now. We did not hear that the party moved to expel them. We did not hear. So leave the judiciary out of this matter now.
That is the fear we are talking about. If the party go to court now, these people will be the one that are supposed to be expelled.
At least the party should have gone to court now to test that right of theirs. Why didn't they test it?
Mr. Kelly, I don't know whether you are just coming into River State for
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I agree. If you say so, I agree.
The kind of kangaroo judgment that goes around.
I think you're going too far, Sam. If you feel a certain way, it doesn't make it true.
Okay, but Mr. Kelly, what happened in the conference there, Mr. President went? What happened there? I didn't.
Sam, thank you. Thank you so much. We didn't talk about anything about the conference the president went to. Thank you. We're still taking your reactions. Today, 95.1 FM. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes. My name is David West.
David West, welcome. Please go on.
From the city of Yenagoa. I like to make my reaction with one of the exclamations of Obasanjo. I will laugh. I still will laugh. This is just the tip of the iceberg, the beginning of the genesis of the problem. I've said it before now, that supremacy on who is going to be the leader, who is going to control at the end of the day, will cause an issue in the so-called Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu supporters and lovers, who are only supporting him based on lip service or what they want to gain. It is not a problem when group of persons will want to go and rob. After robbing, how to share the loot become the problem. That is what I'm just saying here. So for me, it is left for them. If they are of a rough fight, let them be fighting. Magnus Abbey, if you ask me, shot himself on the foot. And at that time, he left the party, so he was going to SDP. And he was gradually handing over the party to the former governor through his agent, Tony Okocha. So let them be doing what they are doing. But the original owners of that their party, the party APC, which they want to belong to or which they belong to, the original members of the party are still in the state. The party structure, I believe, is still there in the state. And I do not think Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will do any nomination or any appointment whatsoever without taking recourse or recognition to the fact that he belongs to a political party and the party is having a structure in the state and the party is existing. So for anybody that wants to take an appointment in APC, well, I think the person will have to, first of all, if he belongs to PDP, leave the PDP and go to crossover to the APC.
All right.
If he does not do that, I don't think you can have any appointment.
All right.
That is my humble submission. God bless you.
All right, David West, thank you so much for reaching out. Today 95.1 FM, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kelly.
Hi.
And the rest of the panelists in the studio. This is Solomon calling from Port Harcourt. I just couldn't hold it, so I had to call to lend my voice to the topic going on. Well, just like other persons have said, on that very day when Senator Abbey was in the studio, Annie Abdulsalam was one anchor in the show, and she did ask him an express question, and he gave her an express answer as well. And he told her categorically that he wasn't going to stand with the presidential candidate of the SDP. He was clear on that. And also, if we could cast our mind back, there was a time he made an appearance on Arise, or this Arise or channel, and the same question was posed to him, and he said he stands with Tinubu. So I don't really know how else he was going to make it open for any other person to know that he's this man. Everybody knew that he was standing with Tinubu. So how else does people or his opponents wanting to have expressed it? The same thing goes to Wike. The same thing happened in Rivers State. He never came out openly to say, but we all knew it. So I find it funny and provoking when we try to pretend as if we don't know what was happening. I mean, it was in the knowledge. Let me not say everybody before I start saying this. I'm generalizing, but I mean we were all in the knowing that this man was with Tinubu. So I mean when
okay.
we were kind of so I was kind of surprised when you were kind of I know you were trying to play the devil's advocate, but
okay, allow me to do my job. You don't have to like the way I go about doing the job, but allow me to do my job, okay?
It's not about liking it. Of course I understand, but I think you were stretching it too far.
Okay, thank you. Don't come to the studio when I'm anchoring. You won't like me. Because I don't send your face. I will stretch you anywhere I need to stretch you. If that brings out the best in you. It's my job. Okay? Like it or hate it. It's a job I have to do. And I enjoy it. Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead and enjoy it. It's your job.
Hi, Gift. Welcome.
Thank you. Stretch them further. Any moment. That is why you are my man. Let me greet everybody in the studio. Ogashiwa is back. My own man. The truth of the matter, let me tell us, I love Senator Magnus Nge Abbey, and I will continue to love him and support him. But there are some certain things, Kelly, when you were stressing in that studio, I aligned myself with you. You are not taking sides. I listened to Chief Okosha yesterday. The man is not even kicking against the appointment, so to say. But a situation where at a point you abandon your own person, every other person crossed over to SDP. This man stayed put. And they are still telling us that fact that they agree that he should stay put in APC, not to move over. But along the line, you decided to abandon this man, and someone in the person of Wike picked him up. Listen to what Asiwaju said. He talked about structure. He talked about the people. He acknowledged Wike openly, praised Wike, as that happened to Magnus Ade, that is even his first son or second son or third son. And Magnus Ade, after the presidential election, let me shock all of us, not your radio station, he went to two that I listened to him clearly. He went to Readings, he went to Nigeria Info. Ask anybody, after the Saturday election, Sunday, he rested. On Monday, Tuesday, he went to this different radio station to castigate the presidential election. Because why? He was aiming that the people of P2P people will give him the support in the governorship election. Instead, they rigged the election in Rivers State. So if today you are trying to, as in look for...
Hello, Gift.
Position from this very man. And he went about telling people that they rigged the election in River State. You that is even 5 and 6 with this man. He has shot himself on the foot. But I pray as well you should just forgive him and carry him along because I don't hate him. Thank you.
All right, Gifts, thank you so much for reaching out. And today, 95.1 FM, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kelly.
Hi.
My name is Engineer Victor. I'm calling from Rumolmi.
Please go on.
Kelly, do you know that I work as a PDP agent in that presidential election? Full-time PDP agent. The governor sent somebody to come and tell us pop and plain. Ask everybody to vote for the APC candidate for the presidential election, but for the governor, vote for our own. That one is our own. Openly, former governor Wike said it openly to us that vote. We should read the agent. They mobilize us, give us logistics, tell us to vote for the presidential candidate of the APC. Pump and play. So Governor Wike work hard from beginning to end. I don't see any reason why anybody will be arguing this with Governor Wike. Thank you, Engineer Victor from Robo.
But nobody's okay. Some people are contending with the efforts of Governor Nyesom Wike for the emergence of Tinubu. But let's come back to the studio. Perhaps we can look at two stories before we go. We still have Barrister Chimene Ward in the studio. We have Chief Loveday Okere in the studio. We have Barrister Choma Choko in the studio. And we also have the one and only Mr. Emmanuel Ndukwe. Just one of our initial guests is not here. Let's talk politics for a bit. I know Chimene has been itching to say something, but no. No, sir. We now have what seemed to be a response from the PDP to the seeming internal wrangling in the leadership of the Senate, the minority position. We're not getting feelers that Atiku is actively rooting for Tambuwal. I was just thinking, how do you go from Speaker House of Reps, now you want to become minority leader in the Senate? I don't understand it. But they say, what do I know? After all, there's a chief of staff that is now a commissioner. What do I know? So let me respect myself. But Atiku is rooting for.
Chief of staff. In government staff.
No, if that's fine with you, no problem. I like yogurt. You can buy me yogurt after now. There's no issue. There's no issue whatsoever. But they say Governor Nyesom Wike and the G5 actively rooting for Jaribe from Cross River State for that position. And Atiku and the PDP, Atiku is standing with the PDP, and the PDP is on the side of Tambuwal. Where do you think this... July 4 is not far. This is the same roller coaster they tried to make us go through when we were looking at Senator Godswill Akpabio becoming the Senate president and the whole drama that we saw. Now we've passed that. The next one is, they say the governor is using his support for Godswill Akpabio to see that his men emerge so that he can hurt Tambuwal even more. Let me start with, let me leave Vice Awarded. Let's go to Choko Choma. Where do you see this thing going? Is it likely that Nyesom Wike would have his way?
Well, I think to me,
you're on the spot now.
Well, I am ordinarily finding it difficult to respond to this particular question because, to me, save for the fact that I'm before the microphone, I'll be hurting my feelings. I must tell you, not sincerity, but because the ball is actually on my court, I must have to say something. The truth of the matter is that, yes, if you look at it over time, it's been in its favor. He has never lost anyone. His political calculations, I read on several platforms where they say, he's the magician of the contemporary politics and all that. I tell people, there is no particular style of playing politics. The truth of the matter is that his permutations, his calculations, his games are actually working out favorably for him the way he had planned them. And look at it very well. Just like the Senate presidency, as a matter of fact, that you mentioned, there was something that actually played out. If you look at it very carefully, Akpabio almost lost that election because other political parties did not vote for him. Make your calculations very well. He almost lost that particular presidency. But what actually saved Akpabio's position was because of the body language and even the express consent of the president, Tinubu, as a matter of fact. So it was almost like the presidency has given
the
their
active lobbying
of
the president.
The president. As a matter, you understand. So for me, that was what played out. If he had allowed a very credible election to be played out, or put differently, the both candidates going to seek for their support themselves, Akpabio would have been on.
So Yari would have won.
Yes, Yari would have won that election. Because if we look at it, other political parties, Labour Party and NMPP and all that, gave their vote to Yari. Now, yes, there is this conclusion that the game master is Nyesom Wike.
His hand was inside.
Of course, his hand was inside. So every claim and everything that is coming at this material time is that he is the political master. I wouldn't know. The elections are yet to come. And it is again between him and this.
There's no election. It will just be read out.
Of course.
No election. Yes. I probably will just read it out.
Yes. But if you look at it, that permutation, that calculation that is done will favor them. There is no way you look at it that Atiku will get anything out of it.
So Akpabio would sideline a letter from the PDP National and favor
the PDP national chairman that you are referring to was the one that came here last 2 weeks.
No, there will be 2 letters as a matter.
So what are we talking? The PDP national chairman was here when Nyesom Wike did his Thanksgiving 2 weeks ago or two. He was still alive. So what are we talking? So what is the fairness of such a chairman? I don't have confidence in him if I were a member of the PDP. But unfortunately, their hands are tied and they cannot do anything at this material time. So for me, Wike is a great lobbyer. He knows what to do and he will get it.
You would have allowed my brother who is at the top echelon. I'm still a dimple lunatic.
Please, I know you are a Nyesom Wike man.
Of course.
Not because of the mic. I know. It's because on air you actually talk about it.
And he's seeking for a political favor.
It says
I love eye service. I don't lie. I don't tell lies. I don't pretend. You've been with us. No, don't worry.
How?
Remain where you are. We don't even need more. The umbrella is too big. It's even getting smaller.
Nyesom Wike again will have his way.
I don't understand. Please, Kelly, I respect you, journalism. Put me in proper perspective.
Would have his way.
He's not contesting any election.
In the peak for the minority positions in the Senate.
Of course, he's part of the Jesuit of PDP, and of course you can't take it away. He's an acolyte of the party. And when you look at the pontiff level, you can't take Wike away. For those of us who are in the Wikematic school, he's not even. I tell people, the man doesn't bother himself for any position, even at the federal level. But I think when you look at his flanks, what makes a politician is the people around you. Are they growing? This is the politics of the Senate. And when you don't have it at the lower house or bigger house, which is the House of Senate, then it becomes a problem. It's a rallying point. We have people that are contesting. Within the PDP foes, you can't take Wike away. When you talk about the life wire of the party, it's Wike. And one thing is that I'm not a good chorister when it comes to singing about Wike, because the songs are there.
But you said you release one.
Yes, I told you. I'm just there's a symphony, but let me not go towards that direction. Politics is being played. Atiku is trying to project Tambuwa. Now let us even demystify Tambuwa. Is he a proper person to be there? By the arrangement, what he has done, all the magics, deception during the last primaries. Why would even Wike support him?
But is Wike a better person?
You mean Wike?
Yes, is Wike a better person?
When you talk about
with all that we also heard that he did.
Please allow me.
No. With all that we also heard that Wike did. Is Wike a better person?
Wait, you heard?
Wike is not what?
He's not. When you say no, Chief, don't say so. Don't say it's not. Allow me. It's my.
You want to paint Tambuwal as the devil.
Not even a Lucifer in the primary, and we are all members of this party.
Lucifer is a good guy,
No, when you say Lucifer, the perspective.
No, Lucifer was his name in heaven.
But what happened
when he was thrown out of heaven?
Thank you. He became
the devil.
That's what I'm saying. So Lucifer is still a bad name.
So you're portraying Tambuwal as Lucifer because Tambuwal decided to step down.
Not stepping. He would have played the role of an umpire. But what he did, I can tell you, launched the party to where they are now.
Let me ask you some things. Yes. We're racing out of time, so I'm careful with my questions. Okay. So we don't dwell so much in politics. Okay. Wike and Tambuwal were best friends. Politically.
No permanent friend,
No, but they were best friends.
That was
what happened to that relationship?
That's what I'm saying.
Was a certain Secondo somewhere in the picture? So that one person, his best friend was pleading with him, allow this man finish his tenure. Allow him complete his tenure. What they refer to as emperor said no, he must go now. They said okay, since we can't plead with you, we cannot pacify you. In the interest of everyone, let this thing flow. You say no, it must be like this. They wash hand. That's how that relationship spoiled. Abi, we have a different information.
Kelly,
sir,
I can tell you for sure the secondus factors played. Of course, but this was a primary election different from what has happened.
Okay,
this is a very close ally.
Why is this one different from the other ones? Why is one man's past? Why should we excuse one man's past and hold another man that said, I will fight on to the end, and towards the end he said, I'm not stepping down for you, I'm stepping down for this other person. Why is that man the bad man?
Can I be plain to you?
Yes, please.
There is no fortitude in politics. There is nothing like forgiveness in politics. Let me tell you, when a man, that is why you have to be very clear, very careful. Because whichever sin, if at the local government level you have done something at the party level, from the unit level, somebody will be reading it out for you. And you must be very careful. Like I have my resume. I'm being careful. I'm not saying that one thing will not happen one day, but I pray not to have, because somebody is out there to tell you, you want to take this position, we will not give it to you. Look at what you did on the 9th. Look at what you did on the 15th. Now, Wike has done so much well. There are people you say close ally in politics. When you get close to them, these are people that at any point in time, you always believe in them. What happened at the primaries? For me, even if I'm Wike, if that can even make me not to go to heaven, I will remain on earth. The Bible says some people will go there and 144 will inherit the earth. I don't know if my brother will be here with me, who is also in the spirit. Now, what Tambuwal did, launched our party today, the PDP, because I'm in the reform PDP. For those ones now that we are not sitting in the seat of the presidency, it's as a result of that failure. Because if Wike had won that primaries, I tell you, or if that primary had been conducted as expected, I tell you, there would have been a full support, and it wouldn't have been Uhuru for Tinubu.
No.
Please allow me. You're coming from. You know you failed this election. Allow me, please. I succeeded.
Please don't because
you failed in this election. Because you didn't just come and.
There is a contrary school of thought. Yeah. There is a contrary school of thought, and that school is loud. That the same man that you so celebrate today had a lot of enemies in Nigeria because of his style in politics.
It doesn't matter, but he has been succeeding. It's like calling me a failure. No. You say my dog is a dog, but he has been killing criminals.
Can we really say? Let's look at this.
People equally have enemies. All of them.
Let's look at this situation.
Yes.
Somebody is a victim of circumstance. If not for the disruption of the Labour Party, did Tinubu really stand this chance in this election?
Which disruption? Which party?
If not for the disruption that happened in this election from the Labour Party.
I don't understand.
The Southeast, the Edo State, the Delta State, that Labour Party won.
I don't understand.
Please, I am not politicians.
Please, I don't know what you mean by it's like telling your father that
the calculation. What it simply means is that PDP would have won if PDP had taken PDP would have won the election if PDP had taken all these other parties.
Yes, you're right on that. That's what I'm saying.
That is the nearly that cannot kill a bird.
That's the
so when I hear them praise, oh, wicked strategies, as a journalist, I'm asking myself, I don't understand. Did they plan for Labour Party to sweep the Southeast to win Cross River State?
Is the politics now. Look, let me tell you, Kelly, I'm coming in now.
No, let him just conclude. Let him conclude so he can come in.
Don't come in.
We have a short time. I'm the one causing this problem. But please conclude.
Let me correct one impression here. Or one opinion. Labour Party, PDP